Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the beginning of the newest playthrough of the channel, that being Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut. This has been a long time coming, and we're excited to bring this to you.
Wait, what version of the game are we doing? This doesn't look like the Sega Dreamcast version that has superior graphics and less glitches.
He's playing it on his Xbox One, since apparently he wasn't aware of the PC mods that make this game better.
Guys, can we go 30 seconds without complaining and just let the introduction scene play at least a little bit?
If only Perfect Chaos actually looked like this when fighting him at the end.
Yeah, Open Your Heart always gets me excited.
Yeah, Amy always gets me excited.
Oh, this is going to be a long playthrough, I can tell.
I hope everyone is as excited as I am, since this is going to be an amazing experience.
I have to say, Barack, you didn't sound all that excited before that title screen. Maybe Play HT just doesn't let you be all that expressive.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I'll go over how this playthrough is going to work in more detail later, but I'm going to start a new file up and begin playing the game as Sonic, since he's the only one you can start with.
As long as I get to play as Amy later on, I don't really care what else happens.
Just another peaceful night at Station Square with helicopters incredibly close to buildings that would be much more of a hazard than anything it's chasing down.
Oh yeah! This is happening!
In case it hasn't been obvious, we are going to be pausing our dialogue on occasion, similar to the scenes in our Kingdom Hearts and Metal Gear Solid playthroughs, to let the story play out more organically.
What's up?
You are completely surrounded! Surrender yourself!
I wonder how they would put handcuffs on something that's mostly made of water.
Lock on target, men! Ready? Fire! Oh no! Our weapons are useless!
So they just start shooting him with Chaos, not actually harming anyone enough to warrant a firing squad, and then give up immediately after. I know I typically back the blue, but not here. Although if I'm backing up Chaos, I suppose I technically am backing the blue in a different way.
All right, guys, there's a lot to talk about right off the bat. To those viewers who are unfamiliar, this is the first real 3D Sonic game released for the Sega Dreamcast, although this is being played off the Xbox One for an easier way of recording it. The game features the homing attack, which, while first appearing in Sonic 3D Blast, is much more useful here and is great against pretty much any enemy, and main boss fight, including Chaos Zero here.
We talked about it a lot more in that Sonic tier list a while back, but Barack really likes this game, while Joe and I are not as big of fans, even though we think some of it is fine enough. I'm sure we'll have a lot to go into detail about throughout the playthrough.
Barack, this fight is taking a while. Are you almost done?
Yeah, he just jumps up a lot, so it takes a while, but we're about done, then we can move on to...
Barack, we're not even 5 minutes into the playthrough and you already died at the first encounter with arguably the easiest fight in the whole game. If this is an indication on how well things are going to be for however many parts this takes, then we are going to lose all of our subscribers and I'll probably get impeached a third time.
If that was me who failed, then Donald would be telling so many Sleepy Joe jokes by now.
Okay, I will admit this was not my finest moment, but this is just a one-time thing. I will be coming back without any issues with later fights, probably.
I doubt it.
Come on, you big drip. Where you going?
Not one of his best one-liners. I get what he means by a big drip considering chaos is made of water, but there had to be something better than that.
Yeah, don't get away from me, water guy.
Actually, big drip doesn't sound so bad anymore.
I've wondered for a while how the brain of chaos or whatever he has there goes through like the rest of him. Seems like it wouldn't fit to go underground.
I have no idea.
You know nothing, fool! It's Chaos, the god of destruction!
It's Dr. Eggman snooping as usual, I see.
Huh?
Seeing Tails about to crash the tornado isn't a great introduction scene, even if it does set up the reason Sonic goes through the next level.
Though sleeping just like Sonic would be a perfect introduction if you were in the game.
Tails! Now, what am I gonna do with you?
Okay, everyone, in case you aren't all familiar with the game, at this point there are various hub worlds we'll be going through that allow each character to explore it, and this gets updated as we move further along the story. There are usually a few things we can find to make it worth exploring a bit, rather than just moving the story along.
Yeah, Barack, this isn't exactly a new game. I'm sure the people watching this are aware of how to play it by now.
Okay, fine, the majority of people watching this probably know about the game, but there are probably those few people who haven't played it that just want to see how we think about the game. So I think it's helpful for me to go over how things work when we get to those points.
That's good and all, but these normal-sized people must freak out when they see Sonic and his friends look so much different than other animals.
I think they should, since Sonic and his friends are so vastly different in proportions compared to other characters. More importantly, we're off to Emerald Coast. This is probably one of my favorite levels in the series rather than just this game. It's a great introduction to the new 3D gameplay where there's a lot of open terrain that gives you room to get an idea of how Sonic feels, but also has some level of the player still needing to be careful with the water he can sink in.
I have to agree with that, even if I'm not the biggest fan of this game. It is pretty fun even in repeat playthroughs with all the unique sections. I'm not sure how this is possible to traverse as a human since we were just at a realistically built hotel a moment ago and now there's springs and launch pads, but it's still fine enough.
I did like this level too, even if I didn't like a few sections. An upcoming loop here can be kind of glitchy sometimes, and I've fallen at the part with the whale a few times too. Still one of the better levels in the game.
I know what you mean for the whale, but I don't think I've had any problems with that loop up ahead. Sure, I've seen some other players have them fall through it, but that's just never happened to me, so I'm not sure what's going on there. See, I made it through just fine, no falling through anything either.
You'll probably fall at the part with the whale though.
Nah, I'm about to make it through no cap. Okay, there might have been some cap there, but I made it through this time.
I have to say you losing lives on the first boss fight and first level are not good indicators for the rest of the playthrough. I have a feeling you're going to get a game over before Windy Valley at this rate.
I know how things look, but I'll be fine. I won't be getting any game overs or anything like that, so don't you all worry.
I'm kind of worried about that actually. I mean, I never failed this much during my playthrough of Metal Gear Solid at all. And sure, it's a different game, but it's not a good start for you at all.
I have to agree with Joe here since you are really messing up more than you should. I'm not sure if you're just out of practice or something, but you need to not keep dying so much.
I get where you all are coming from, but know once you see my gaming skills come back, you will all be sure that I am the one who can get through Sonic's story most efficiently. If there's one person who can play Sonic Adventure well in the history of people who have existed, it's Barack Obama himself, which is me. There will be no more doubt of what I can and cannot do.
That's nice. Hey, editor, skip ahead to where Sonic dies next.
Okay, doing that seems to really undermine the point I was making about me being able to handle this game fine enough. Also, did you really have to skip ahead like that?
Yeah, Joe and I were actually discussing this and wanted to try and change up how we edit the playthrough, or at least a few videos in it, making it a little closer to a highlight reel, since admittedly some parts of the game aren't always interesting to watch while we're talking over them. So we figured we'd cut out a little more when not much is happening. Of course, if the people watching don't like the approach, then we'll probably just change it back soon after.
So to all the viewers, please let us know what you think when you see the video to say if you like it or not, and not just to raise up the engagement, even though that helps too. That will let us know what to do best.
Glad you're okay. What happened anyway? You're too good of a pilot to just crash like that.
That was a test run using a new prototype propulsion system. It's got a few bugs to iron out.
The audio mixing here is really weird since Tails is getting drowned out by the music that seems a lot louder than it should be.
And the sequel makes it even worse.
Ta-da!
A Chaos Emerald!
Yep, I just happened to find one of the Southern Emeralds during one of my test fights. This thing's got unlimited power, you know.
If it really had unlimited power, then he should only need one of them. Maybe I'm looking too deep into his word choice.
You gotta come over to my workshop, Sonic. I've got something I've gotta show you. It's in the Mystic Ruins. The fastest way is by train. Let's go!
So guys, I was wondering if we were going to be talking about any recent events to us now. I was thinking we could maybe talk about those posts about Elon Musk telling everyone that Donald was on Jeffrey Epstein's list. I thought that was quite a surprise when I saw it.
Now that was all fake news he came up with since I didn't want to invest in his electric cars or whatever he was telling me about at the White House a while back. I wasn't on those logs that much. In fact, the only time I was, it was to practice my skydiving skills, so I went on his plane, but only to jump out and not to go to that island he had.
That is definitely Cap, but more importantly, it's Dr. Eggman.
Talking egg!
Silence! I am Dr. Robotnik, the greatest scientific genius in the world!
Whatever you say, Eggman!
Enough! I've got big plans, and now I'm gonna put them to work!
I bet if he put his legs to work, he wouldn't need that egg mobile to carry his 600-pound stomach all around. Forget Dark Gaia, this guy can split the world open by jumping off from a trampoline.
Or else what, you big loser?
Or else I'll take them from you by force! The hard way!
Hey, that reminds me of the time I took the election from Donald a few years back. I mean, nothing, don't look into that or anything.
Is he going to fight us, or are we just watching him float around? All right, like I was saying earlier, yeah, I went on the plane, but it was only for skydiving and an occasional bungee jumping experience. You all may be wondering how exactly it's possible that I could have bungee jumped from a moving plane instead of something more stationary, but I was just built different, so it worked out for me. I went straight down and straight up while the plane was moving, then went up perfectly. Only defied a few laws of physics to make it possible, but I did it.
Barack, I know it's hard to believe, but I was actually on that island and saw it when it happened, so Donald is actually telling the truth.
I don't really want to think about the idea that Donald somehow bungee jumped in a moving plane, and also that Joe was on Jeffrey Epstein's island, so I'm just finishing this fight and moving on.
Yeah, that's probably for the best realistically. I don't see any way I can improve this conversation at this point.
That wasn't so hard.
Aha!
Oh no!
Come on, Chaos. Time to eat!
Come on, fastest thing alive, I'm sure you can just run and take it back rather than just standing there and watching this happen.
Oh no, isn't that the same monster I saw the other day?
Oh, yes! It's just as the stone tablets predicted.
That line stood out to me, as I'm pretty sure there's no actual stone tablet that mentions chaos or anything similar. Even if there was, it hasn't shown up in the game yet, so there's nothing that really makes sense about him talking about a tablet.
In him, he'll be invincible and work for me! Together, we'll destroy Station Square. And on its ruins, I'll build Robotnik Land, the ultimate city.
Even though I really like this game, I'm really not sure why he's so focused on making his city at Station Square specifically, as if there's no other places he can do it.
Maybe he just really likes the view of the ocean.
Sonic! We can't let him get away with this, can we?
No way, Tails!
Without more emeralds, the monster can't transform. So, it's up to us to get the emeralds before Eggman does, huh?
Speaking of collecting the Chaos Emeralds, is now a good time to talk about Donald bombing Iran?
I am completely at a loss as to how you think now is a more appropriate time to talk about that, but to answer your question, no, we are not even going to try having a discussion about that for a variety of reasons. The main one being it's not really a great topic to discuss while having Sonic Adventure in the background, as if those two fit together at all.
Yeah, that might be getting a little too real for our gameplay sessions to talk about outside world events.
All right, yeah, that makes sense. I guess that could be a little much now that you both mention it.
On a more fitting topic to the game, we're starting up Windy Valley right about now. I'm not really sure how the wind statue affects the gust going going up, but it seems to work well enough. I've always liked this stage, and each character has a different enough experience to make it worth going through more than once.
I don't know about that one. Sonic is fine since he goes through the most of it, but Tails literally skips the first section and flies over the entirety of the stage to where he can do all of it in one jump, which is admittedly fun to do, but not exactly challenging. Then again, maybe we can talk about that more when we get to playing as him.
I kind of like this place since there's a lot going on and it's fun to get taken up by a tornado than having to climb up various pieces but fall down way further at the end.
It would be even better if the tornado actually looked like the Dreamcast version, not like all the updated ones where it looks so much worse like most of the game's graphical choices.
Oh, come on, it doesn't look that bad. Although I agree that changing a lot of textures in the DX version wasn't needed, and some do look worse, I don't think it's really enough to say it looks bad altogether. It would be nice if there was at least an option to change it without modding, but the consoles don't have that as an option.
Okay, maybe they don't look bad entirely, but I still stand by the tornado being way worse than it was before. That's partially due to the lighting as well, which even better textures can't fix. It just looks too clean and sometimes shinier in some models to where it looks really unnatural. Sure, the output of the game is better than the Dreamcast, but the actual presentation just isn't as good by comparison.
All right, fine, the tornado doesn't look as good, I'll agree to that. Joe, you haven't said much in a little while. What are your thoughts on the graphics?
Oh yeah, I was thinking about Amy Rose for a while. I haven't been paying attention to anything you all have been saying.
I don't know what else I should have been expecting at this point. I can only fear what we're going to do when we get to play as her. We're probably going to edit out most of the playthrough if Joe's going to get all weird around her.
No, we should edit nothing out of her video, and I'm going to spend 7 hours in each level to be sure I get the most out of her.
Guys, I don't think I can do this playthrough if Joe is going to go nuts at the idea of playing as Amy Rose for any period of time.
No, we need to keep going since we've barely started, so it wouldn't make sense for us to just quit, even though I am not looking forward to all of the sounds Joe will make and all of the nonsense that is bound to happen, but we have at least 3 characters to go through before we get to her.
Oh yeah, I'm going through her if you know what I mean.
Joe, she's like 12, you can't say that.
She's also a hedgehog, I don't see your point.
Can you two talk about literally anything else before we get demonetized from this conversation?
That is a fantastic idea, Donald. Maybe we should actually talk about the stage that we're almost done with. This area after the tornado is my favorite part since it lasts the longest and has multiple ways to go through some sections, but even the more linear parts feel great to go through when Sonic doesn't get stuck on the side while running down, which happens from time to time.
Yeah, that collision issue really does look weird. I mean, it isn't really that bad or even something that slows him down that much, but it does ruin the spectacle of watching Sonic run so quickly down the path. Then he gets stuck on the side and can't get to the end as quickly. I've never had him come to a complete stop or fall off, though.
You are right indeed, Donald. If I can stop getting hit by a car, I do just want to mess around a little bit here before getting the next item. We'll be getting the light speed shoes, but there is some person outside that you can just pick up and move around. I'm not even sure if he's an actual person or just a statue, but either way, it's funny to see him go wherever you'd like him to, and he can even hold up traffic for the cars that come by.
I feel like there's a joke we can make about someone standing out in front of a road and blocking traffic, but I'm not clever enough to think of a good one, so let's just not think about it too hard.
We are not going into that here, Joe. There is no way that conversation would end up being a net positive for anyone here. Anyways, there's an emblem in this shop, and some guy who probably has nothing better to do with his time than serve nobody else here, since people don't really travel much in this game. They're either in vehicles or are pretty much stationary.
A shiny thing.
Now you've got light speed shoes. Press and hold the action button to store up power.
Are we going to talk about Joe's reaction to the shoes? I've never heard anyone that excited about shoes than him just now.
I think we should let it go.
Rings at light speed. As long as there's a trail of rings, you can go just about anywhere.
Sorry guys, sometimes I just get like that when I'm thinking about Amy Rose, which is pretty frequent.
Do you think you can hold it together for the rest of the video, or are we dealing with even more of that?
I can probably do it, but no promises at this point.
That doesn't really make me feel better, but that's still better than I was expecting. I think we can finish up after getting the next power-up and going through Casinopolis.
Sounds good. I tend to get this before the light speed shoes since it's a fun challenge to do it without. Not really all that helpful, but still feels good to do.
I'm all right after seeing a shiny thing this time.
This is the crystal ring. This reduces the time needed to store power for the light speed dash.
I'm not even sure why this is a power-up to begin with. I'd think it would make more sense to just have a lower amount of time for the light speed dash from the start. I mean, it's not hard to get or anything, but still odd how it wasn't just condensed into one item.
I'm not sure why either, since there's another item coming up later on that also changes how it works, but could have all just been one item without much of a problem, though it won't be until next time we play this. Although now that I think about it as a businessman, it would be more profitable from a sales perspective to just keep making additions to existing products and charge more for them, rather than just make one really good item. It's like Apple and continuously making more phones that improve slightly and making you pay for an adapter to get a headphone jack or a really expensive plastic stand. Maybe this design choice was actually really good.
I've never really thought of it that way, but that is an interesting way of looking at it. I'd say the concept is fine enough to just have upgradable items rather than have everything be collected all at once. More relevant to the actual stage, though, Casinopolis has a few different ways of obtaining the end goal. For those of you who are unfamiliar, there's a section across from where Sonic starts that has the end of the level. You need to have 400 rings before you can actually reach it. What is most likely the fastest way is going to the pinball machine and losing on purpose after getting just a few rings, then going to the sewers where the majority of the rings will be found. There's a lot of rings, but you need to be careful or you'll lose them all. I suppose you could go and collect them more slowly at the pinball machines, but this is the way most people will likely use since it has some actual exploration to it. We're cutting out some of it though, since it's just a lot of going up the air and through small passageways.
Hey guys, I haven't said anything in a while, so I was wondering if either of you have actually tried to get all the rings at the beginning without going to the sewers.
No, I'm not a big fan of this level, so I always take this route just to get it done more quickly. It's not really bad, but I don't get why there's the ring restriction when Sonic can probably just do a spin dash off a ramp to get up top, and Tails can just fly up realistically and make this all pointless.
Yeah, I think I got it that way one time a while back just to see how it went, and it was way slower, so I just go to the sewers. I think the level is okay, but there's not many alternate paths in the main section where you'll probably be spending, and Donald's right on the idea of the level being pretty pointless, even if it is unique.
I've always done it the normal way too, since I just never cared for the pinball machines at all. Glad it's over with now.
This is one of the levels I like the least towards the beginning of the game, so I'm happy I'm not the one playing it right now.
There will still be a few more parts before anyone else plays, so you will at some point for Knuckles or Tails.
Yeah! Hey!
I find it great how Sonic just gets snuck up on by the most noticeable thing in the world while the background music just abruptly cuts off with no attempt at fitting into the next song.
Eggman.
Oh man, what happened to that emerald we just had?
Okay, to be fair to the game, we edited out that part of the cutscene where it's just a white screen that time. So it wasn't that abrupt when playing the game normally though.
That means his 2 to our 1, and that's not good.
We're about done for the day, so thank you all for watching today.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more.
And peace out, people.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Sonic Adventure. We just finished up the last episode with the levels up through Casinopolis, and now we're headed over to Ice Cap.
It is good to be back here. I wonder where this ice statue even comes from. It just shows up when Casinopolis is done, but I don't know if someone threw it down here or what.
Well, Cream the Rabbit shows up once that level is done, so maybe she dropped it on the way here to help us.
That does make some sense for the later versions, but she's not in the Dreamcast version, so I'm not really sure about that one. Once I finally get up this weird rock formation, we'll be moving on. We did mention this last time, but we would like to hear from the audience if editing out more sections of levels and backtracking works well for those, or if it's a little too jarring.
I was reading through some of the comments from the first video, and people tended to like it for the most part, but we'll have to keep it in mind if it's going to work for the rest of the playthrough.
We don't plan on having this editing style through all of our videos, as it's still experimental right now. For ones like Mega Man and Metal Gear Solid, we probably won't be editing out much at all for those, so please let us know what you all think about it.
And speaking of letting people know what we're thinking, it's a not very good level up ahead.
Oh, come on, it isn't that bad. It's actually one of the best levels to experiment with spin dash jumps, because if you play it correctly, then you can skip a good portion of the level.
Oh, I sense a really good jump coming up.
Yep, now I get to use the rocket earlier than intended.
Well, is it really a good level if you feel an interest in skipping the majority of it? I can see how it's fun to do these tricks, but maybe it's not a fun level if skipping it is the fun part in itself.
I can definitely see where you're coming from, but I can go through these sections normally just fine while still enjoying it, and I may have too if I don't get the next jump right, since it's a lot harder.
Wait, you can do that? I only knew about the first jump, but I wasn't aware of another skip.
Yeah, I didn't exactly get it, but you can do a tricky jump and skip most of this area and move right on to the Avalanche. Admittedly, this area I don't find as fun since these icicles are repetitive, and the first half of the level isn't really like the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 level at all, besides it being about a cold mountain.
On one hand, I try not to compare the 3D levels to the 2D games, but in this case it's directly named the same thing, so the comparisons are a lot easier to make.
I can definitely agree with that. Also, Joe, this is where the skip would have landed you if I got it earlier.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. I never liked this level that much, so I'll have to try out that skip next time I play it.
And we're about to go on to what's the most notable part of the level with the Avalanche. It is a pretty good way to end the level, but I'm a little bothered by there being no real threat from the Avalanche itself. You're always going to get faster, and it doesn't hurt you even if you do try and slow down.
Yeah, I actually had one time where I wasn't moving the controller at all, and I still made it through most of it just fine.
You fell asleep while playing the game again, didn't you?
Maybe.
I am inclined to agree that the Avalanche is visually quite good, but not all that significant on a gameplay level, and I think that applies to a lot of sections in the game. The whale chasing in Emerald Coast doesn't require much input, nor does the part going down the building in Speed Highway, but it's more about spectacle. Now that I think about it, that applies to a lot of things in Sonic games.
I suppose you're right. The gun truck chase in City Escape, most of the boost sections in Sonic Unleashed, the boss fights in Sonic Superstars, where you just wait for the boss to be ready for you to attack. There's a lot that is mainly just for looks in the series.
That is probably something that could lead to a deep analysis about gameplay aspects, but I don't think our audience is here to discuss the philosophy of Sonic the Hedgehog game design, or at least I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I think they tend to be here for our political banter and my classic stories of my youth. I haven't told one of those for a little while now that I think about it.
I think we can easily keep it at that for the rest of our channel. I did want to actually mention how terrible the missions are here. There's the oddly precise one with those jumps that are hard to understand where and how to jump from, and you just have to restart the level if you don't get them all. There's also the one where Tails has to get all of those flags at the end of his section, and you can't just slow down that much since Sonic will finish the level and ruin your attempt. Most of the missions are fine, but those two are really bad.
Yeah, even though I really like this game, I can't defend those ones.
Those two missions I always did last, they were just so hard and I could never get them consistently. I spent about a year on and off during my presidency trying to get them and eventually got them after a while of just trying it for 2 days straight. It was right before that one really bad debate, so not the best decision I made.
So that's why you seemed so out of it that day? At least now we all know what happened. Oh yeah, Knuckles is coming up too.
What's up, Knuckles? Something bugging you?
The animation and mouth movements are bugging me now that you mention it.
Give me the emeralds you have, right now!
What? Let's just see you take them. Huh.
And here comes without a doubt the pinnacle of fights in video games against Knuckles. I can't imagine a more complex strategy, and he's done already.
Oh no! The Chaos Emeralds!
If only the fastest thing alive could just pick them up now.
That would be too convenient.
Ha! Like taking candy from a baby. That's a Chaos Emerald. That's right, fool! You made it all too easy!
I think anybody else could just run up and take them out of his hands here. They're literally just watching him do a monologue with no attempt at stopping him.
Get away with this. Knuckles, don't tell me Eggman tricked you again.
Me? What about you?
Way to go, Knucklehead.
Now I have 4 lovely emeralds!
Gotta love how the music just abruptly stops. I didn't realize how jarring it was until I really listened to it on this recent playthrough. I don't remember if the Dreamcast version was like this.
These are for you, my friend!
Ah! He transformed again!
Thank you for saying that, young Sheldon. I couldn't have figured that out on my own, so I appreciate you being there to make it obvious.
He isn't calling Tails young Sheldon a joke from another world.
Yes, it is. While I beat Chaos 4, which is one of the most boring fights in the game, I wanted to bring up an important update for the President's AI community that has affected some, including us. Play HT is reported to be shutting down at the end of 2025. We will say right now that this will not mean we are going to stop making videos. If anything, there may be a little while without uploads at the beginning of 2026 while we get a different site to host our voices, but we do not want anybody to think this change will mean we are going to quit because of that, so don't you worry. We will still be around regardless of Play HT not being here after the year ends. It's not all that relevant right now, but still felt it was an important thing to talk about since I think some people are worried about that for other channels.
Somehow this boss fight was actually less enjoyable than learning about Play HT being shut down. I'm glad you skipped around and didn't just leave in every part of him swimming while being impossible to hit.
That looked a lot higher quality than all the other scenes so far. If only they were all like that.
But it pales in comparison to the power of chaos. Adieu, until we meet again, my friends.
I know I've been mentioning a lot how there's weird things happening in the cutscenes like Sonic or his friends just standing still when they could be doing something to save the Chaos Emeralds, but he really could have just gone up with him and avoided the Sky Chase level.
Let's get to my workshop and we'll take the tornado.
Yeah!
You guys go. I have some unfinished business to take care of.
No problem, Knuckles. We'll take care of everything here.
To your point about the cutscenes, yes, they are pretty weird how Sonic just doesn't do anything when he clearly can at multiple points. Typically, I would say it's not a huge problem, but it does come up repeatedly, and it would make more logical sense if he didn't just let Dr. Eggman just have the emeralds so easily. Basically, 90% of the game would be avoided if that happened.
I get that the game needs to progress the story, and it's the first proper 3D game in the series, so I'm sure there would have been a better way to convey this with better technology for making cutscenes, but it's still weird to keep seeing the same problem so consistently. At least there are some cool scenes like this one.
Sonic, hop in.
This actually reminds me of a television show I helped make one time.
Joe, I typically hate the idea of you telling a story about anything, but considering nobody likes Sky Chase, this is one of the few times in my life I'd rather focus on what you have to say than what's happening in the game.
I'm glad you'll finally be listening to what I have to say now. So you know that one movie called Scared Straight where some kids meet these prisoners for a while to make them not do crimes? And then the television show called Beyond Scared Straight where they stay in for even longer. Well, I was the main idea person behind the sequel show Beyond Scared Straight. It was pretty much the same as the one before, except the kids never actually get to leave the prison. I figured if I just lock them up before they can do any crime, then that would solve problems before they even happen. It never got picked up as a series because it was apparently copyright infringement, since we never got permission to use that title. But we already shot 4 seasons worth of material with 20 episodes each and 30 kids in every episode that got to see what the criminals were like to avoid a life of crime. Well, did you two like my idea of a television series?
Joe, never in my life have I heard of an idea so absolutely horrible and revolting that has left me at a loss of words. I know you have some absolutely insane stories about what you get up to, but this is by far the worst. There are 2,400 children in prisons that will never get released based on your rip-off idea of entertainment. I can't believe you're even here watching this game with us when you should be awaiting sentencing for crimes that probably haven't even been considered possible by the legal system.
So does that mean you don't like the idea?
No, Joe, I don't like the idea.
Wait, how does Tails and the Tornado remind you of that show idea anyway?
One of the kids in the 3rd season said he wanted to be a pilot when he grew up. I hope they have airplanes in prisons to practice so his dream can come true.
Tails? Tails!
Sonic was doing his regular walking animation while falling down because apparently that is a natural thing that happens when you fall.
You're not who I'm looking for. Oh, I wonder if he's okay.
If Sonic can fall down and be fine, then I don't see why Tails would be in any worse shape.
On a more important note, are we just moving past Joe's television idea that endangers children? I feel like we shouldn't move on that quickly.
That would be a good idea to just move away from it for now, plus Amy is coming up in the next scene, so he's going to talk about her soon enough.
Sonic, wait up! Long time no see!
Amy.
What's wrong with you anyway? Listen, this birdie seems to be in trouble.
So guys, be honest with me. Do you think I have a chance to get with Amy over Sonic? I'm trying to think of things I do better than him, but I'm not thinking of a lot.
Joe, they're fictional characters. You're not in competition with any of them. Oh great, the song abruptly cuts off again. Maybe this design choice is so next level that we simply can't understand how genius it really is.
Ah, look! Eggman's robot's on the loose!
No problem. He's just a chunk of cheesy hardware.
Whoa!
Oh, now what? Huh?
Look here! It says, cute couples get in free!
Hey Amy, you and I could get in free since that is definitely an appropriate thing to have happen.
I think Amy and the robot would make a better couple.
Wait! Oh, man! That girl is such a pain.
I never actually considered what the Twinkle Park would constitute as a cute couple. Sonic can go up without paying anything just fine, so he's able to bypass that. If someone at the staff considered a couple as not cute, would they just not let them up? How would they even know who is coming in to begin with? How would a not cute couple pay considering there's no way to have a transaction here?
I think you're putting way too much thought into that, Barack. You're like the people who keep talking about Jeffrey Epstein, where you just don't want to stop talking about what he may or may not have done.
I'm not sure what bothers me more, the fact that you don't want people to keep talking about Jeffrey Epstein, or the idea of Twinkle Park not having an easily understandable payment system is a reasonable comparison to his list.
I don't know, it seems like that is a reasonable comparison.
Thank you, Joe. I think if everyone just listens to what I have to say about it, then everything will make sense.
Okay, I'm going to need a moment to be sure I got the timeline of events correctly. So Jeffrey Epstein is arrested and then kills himself during your first term, and then many people say things such as Epstein didn't kill himself on social media for years after that. Then you mention unsealing the files leading up to the election before you became the president again. Then in February of 2025, there are various people holding up binders of information relevant to the case, and Pam Bondi mentions the files are on her desk. Kash Patel goes on Joe Rogan's podcast and states there are thousands of hours of video as well. In July, Pam Bondi states there is no list, and apparently all of the video is gone, while all of the binders of information were just blank paper, apparently since there was nothing to release. After previously being told there was no video of the doors outside of Jeffrey Epstein's room, there suddenly are hours of video that are cut together, and a statement that he actually did kill himself despite the fact there is no list, so he must have just done it for no reason later on you claim it, is a hoax, and people should stop talking about it, with many conservatives that initially thought releasing the list was a great idea suddenly think it's a bad idea because you say so. Afterwards you then say there are files, but they were made by Hillary Clinton and I, so it's no longer a hoax. Multiple votes to release the files were done, with Republicans voting against it almost unanimously. We as a public are supposed to naturally accept all of that as fact with no issue?
That is correct, yes.
I'm about to lose my mind. Welcome to Twinkle Park, everyone. This is a pretty fun level, but I'm going to be taking a much shorter path because I know a few tricks to skip ahead of a few sections of the level. The first part is a pretty simple track with other characters and vehicles, but there's not much to do there besides get hit by a few of them and collect rings. There are a lot of spots here to spin, dash, jump around coming up, and it's a nice level to go through as Sonic. Not as much for Amy and Big, but we'll get there later.
Oh, I didn't know about all of those tricks. I haven't said much in a while, but I think this is a good level. Not sure how a normal person could get around it with all of the lethal obstacles here, though.
That applies to pretty much every level in the game when you really think about it. This is a pretty lethal world when it comes to every level for a normal person.
Oh, shoot! I've lost Amy. I bet that robot hauled butt after her. I'd better catch her before it does.
I'm not sure if you lost her if you never really caught up with her to begin with, since you didn't see her in the level itself.
Not related to that, but I really like how for the second time the way to the next level quite literally just falls from the sky. There really wasn't any organic way to show the way to get to the next level, so it probably just gets dropped by Cream or whomever.
Yeah, it would have made more sense to just have the doors open up automatically, if anything, but I don't think there's any more examples aside from that. And the ice statue that I'm aware of.
No, I can't think of any either. Now we actually have a really good level. Speed Highway is one of the highlights of the game for me, along with Emerald Coast for the levels, since it's just a really fun place to be around. There's so many ways to get from one place to another, even if there is one main way that most people end up going through. I can easily remember skipping a good amount of the level with a really precise spin dash jump on the moving platform near the checkpoint to get right to the larger building nearby.
Yeah, I've tried that myself a few times, but I've never gotten it without that platform there. Hey Joe, it's been a while since we've heard a lot from you. What's been going on recently?
Yeah, actually, I've been up to a couple things with my game consoles. I actually fixed my PlayStation 5. It was having issues not playing PlayStation 5 games for more than about 40 minutes because it would just freeze. I tried getting the dust out of the fan by taking off the covers, but it didn't really fix it despite it looking a lot better. After that, I looked on the inside and got to clean out a lot of dust in the middle section. It took a while since I had to use a paperclip to pull it all out, but I'm glad it works a lot better. Still gets warmer than I'd like, but I'll take it. I'm glad I'm not the president anymore, since I'm sure I'd get a lot of people saying, Joe, why are you doing this when there's so much else you could be doing with your time, but now I can just do whatever I want with my free time.
Doesn't seem like much of a problem since there's only like 10 PlayStation 5 exclusive games, so you didn't have much of a limit even when it wasn't working as well. Oh, and Barack, don't act like I didn't see that part where you died a moment ago. At least you're not in peril of getting a game over, but I still noticed it happen anyway.
I was hoping Joe talking about his PlayStation 5 would cause you not to be paying attention, but it didn't work. This part right here is my favorite part of the level. Sure, it's more spectacle than anything, as there's not really any threat here, but just the visual looks great to see Sonic run down a building. Not sure how when he jumps he lands back on the building, since he has no reason to just go right back down like that.
I don't think Sonic often obeys the laws of physics, so this is pretty consistent.
Yeah, I'm sure there's many more examples like this, so it's pointless to question how he does this. Maybe he's just built different.
He is definitely built different. I'm still not sure how other regularly proportioned humans interact with him like he does in some of these games, or even how they react to Dr. Eggman considering he's shaped so differently and yet is as fast as Sonic on occasion.
Whoa, I didn't know you could go up this way. Sorry to get off topic, but I've always went the normal way by going down to the ground instead of over here.
It's all right. I'm sure it wasn't intended exactly, but it's a nice skip. That's one of the things I like about this game more than others is these tricks you can do to interact or sometimes not interact with the levels if you master the movement. It's arguable whether this is a good design choice considering the idea of skipping parts of levels making it better is a little weird to think about, but I enjoy it more because of the freedom that isn't in other games that much.
I'll cut him off at the Mystic Ruins.
Let me go, you hunk of junk! I mean it!
Barack, please save Amy. I don't know what I'll do with myself if something happens to her. I'm so afraid for what will happen to a fictional hedgehog girl in a way I never have been before.
She'll be fine, Joe. The game's story is predetermined.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Hey, what's happening here?
I've always wondered how the egg carrier just shows up abruptly like you didn't notice it before. It's not exactly a small and subtle thing that's just flying in the air.
Stop!
Sonic yet again just stands there and makes no attempt to go up with him.
We're off to the next level for Sonic at Red Mountain. Before that, we'll stop by near the Master Emerald Shrine to get a new ability.
Which always confused me as I thought the shrine was in a different place like in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, but apparently it's outside now with no surrounding super emeralds. Unless I'm just completely wrong and there's multiple places the Master Emerald can be placed.
This is the ancient light. Try the light speed dash toward the enemy. With this, you can now do the light speed attack.
Honestly, I have no idea how that all worked. Not sure how it would have gotten to Hidden Palace Zone to here.
More importantly, you got the light speed attack and can move on now, even if there's not much use for this attack outside of right now.
Hey guys, I've been taking my pills on time and I think they're kicking in now. I thought about something really thought-provoking if you all want to hear it.
Oh, great Joe on his pills with a story. I can't wait to hear what nonsense he comes up with now.
So I was thinking about some recent events and contemplated the way people respond to the passing of a more publicly known person. I've always thought this was interesting. I see so many people say rip whomever died, and the vast majority of them never directly knew them or even interacted with them in a significant way, if at all. I was curious on why this was, and I believe people are sometimes conflating the person's work or contribution towards entertainment with the actual quality of the person. If you watch someone play a role on television or a movie then learn they passed away, they tend to feel sad based on their loss, but it's mainly based on what they experienced from the famous person within their work. At this point I started to think, what exactly are people even mourning? If you never met the person and yet feel a strong connection for them, it may be more of a parasocial connection that isn't really the same as actually knowing someone for their character, and that always stuck with me. I remember a while back how people claimed 2016 was such a bad year on social media because a lot of famous people died who probably didn't even know the majority of people that ended up mourning them. Of course, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having these sorrowful thoughts about the people, though it is perplexing to see people become saddened for the passing of someone based only off their work and knowing their work will not continue on more than their actual quality of their person that they never knew. Hey, are you guys still there?
Sorry about that, Joe. It's just, that's probably the most thought you've ever put into anything and is so unlike anything else you've ever said before that it's taken me some time to process.
Yeah, that certainly would have been helpful during your presidency, but we'll take the next best time, which apparently is playing Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, I think I'll go back to my regular self in a minute when the pills wear off. Hey audience, how about we bring back the comment questions for the video by telling us what you all think when it comes to mourning notable people in the public eye.
No, we are not starting the comment questions again with that, Joe. For an actual question that we'd like to know from the people watching, what is your favorite Sonic game? Not just in 3D or 2D, but any of them at all. If you'd like to know ours, we have a couple of tier lists a while ago that give a lot more of our thoughts.
We'd love to know what other people think their favorites are, and we'll see if we can respond to them and come up with more questions later in the series. This may be a lost cause, but can we actually talk about the level? Joe's whole thing threw us off and haven't mentioned anything on screen for a while now.
That is a great idea, Donald. Personally, I like the level, but I'm not as big of a fan for the first part. It's mostly fine, but there's some little things that bother me. That one section with the hammer hitting that button that somehow doesn't doesn't do anything until Sonic stands on it is just weird, but mainly it's the Knuckles part that I don't like since it's way too open-ended. The inside section here I find a lot better since it's more focused and I have a better time going through it.
That makes a good amount of sense. I think Joe and I will tell you our thoughts once the cutscenes are over.
Yeah, Sky Chase is coming up and we'll definitely want to talk about anything else when that happens.
If Tails didn't show up, then Sonic just would have been stuck and had no way out of here.
Then we wouldn't have had to play Sky Chase again, so I think that would have been better.
Tails, I'm glad you're okay.
There goes Sonic disobeying the laws of physics by standing near perpendicular to the ground.
Ready to roll, champ? Let's go!
Roger.
All right, everyone, I know we make fun of this a lot, but none of us here like Sky Chase. It's mainly an issue because you go through it twice with Sonic in this part, and then also twice with Tails with nothing changing between the two. There is no way to speed it up in the game at all, so it's just repetitive and boring. We're just going to skip it entirely when we get to Tails because there's simply nothing new there, but we want to show at least some of it now.
I will say there is a little bit of fun getting a high score for one of the emblems since you actually have to think about your shots more, but I can't defend having to do the exact same thing twice for two different characters.
Since nobody likes this place, we can talk about Red Mountain a little more. I liked it fine enough, but yeah, I spent such a long time playing it as Knuckles since I had no idea where the emerald pieces were as there's so much to look through. I didn't enjoy it as much as Casinopolis since that was a lot more closed off. Playing it as Gamma was pretty fun though, even if it was pretty simple and easy like most of his levels.
I didn't really like it at all for anyone. Sure, it has multiple paths in both sections, but for Sonic it's easier to fall off, and Gamma's is almost one straight shot with not much else to look forward to.
Yeah, I can definitely see where you are coming from on that. Still, it's better than most of the later levels in the playthrough. Not exactly relevant to Sonic specifically, but there was an update we wanted to give for the AI President community in general, as there have been some changes. This actually happened while we were editing the video, since we already mentioned PlayHT was shutting down earlier, but now Voxbox is not using political voices. To reiterate from earlier, this doesn't mean we won't be uploading, just that we have one less option than we anticipated. We will still be around like we have been.
Yeah, it's a shame, but apparently some people use AI for more nefarious purposes, and sites have to be careful on what they allow. So on one hand, it makes sense to not let people use it to create harm to someone's reputation or scam someone, but I don't think it's necessary to punish those who use it for entertainment.
As long as we just find a way to entertain ourselves and other people, then that's what really matters. We found a way before when 11 Labs wasn't reliable, so we can do it again. Probably.
Alrighty, we're in.
We gotta land on the egg carrier.
Whoops. I forgot something.
What's that?
There's no landing gear in this mode.
Thanks for not coming through for us, Tails, or should I say Fails the Fox.
I think we can be done for the day since we already got a lot done. We should be finishing up with Sonic in the next part, and then we'll get the rest of the characters started after that.
That sounds good. I'm excited to see what characters we will end up playing as in a few parts from now.
We'll handle all of that later. For now, we'd like to thank everyone for watching as always.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And peace out, people. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Sonic Adventure. We'll be finishing off the Sonic story, assuming I play well enough, and then we'll be able to start with other characters next time. But until then, we have work to do on the egg carrier.
The important part there was if Barak plays well, which is a tall order considering his performance during the first Chaos fight, and losing multiple lives in nearly every stage so far. This may end up being a 30-part adventure after all.
Let's not immediately start the video off by arguing about how well or not well I've been playing so far.
Okay, fine, we'll just watch what's happening here, even though I am correct in that your performance hasn't been the best.
Oh, wow! It's changed shape. Did you see that?
Darn! This makes it harder for us to get to the bridge.
I hate it when he doesn't listen.
I bet you weren't expecting this.
I'm actually surprised a structure this large can change its shape so drastically and still function just the same in midair.
Oh yeah? Well, I'll show you. Bring it on.
Oh, hey, I realized I haven't said anything yet. Have we gotten to Amy's story yet? I'm so excited to play as her.
No, Joe, in fact, I think it's time we talk about something that we really should have done a while ago.
Yeah, Donald and I have been planning this for a while. Joe, we need to have an intervention for you. Your strange attention given to video game characters is very unusual and we need to address it.
What are you talking about? My attention towards characters have been perfectly normal.
Well, let's look at it like this. You have had a strange attraction to characters in most of the games we played. You tried to sniff Princess Sarah's hair in the Final Fantasy playthrough. You were oddly fixated on the younger iteration of Rydia, a dancer, and a chocobo in Final Fantasy IV. You made a huge deal whenever Meryl Sniper Wolf Fortune, and I think even Raiden once showed up in the Metal Gear Solid series. You try to rizz up characters like Kairi, Sally, Selphie, and Aerith in the Kingdom Hearts playthrough.
What Donald is getting at is you have a strange reaction to certain characters appearing in the videos we make. We think it's for comedic value to our viewers considering they're all fictional characters. You can't interact with them since they're not real, but on the off chance that this is genuine, we needed to put a stop to this.
Oh, I get what you're talking about now. No, I think all of those reactions are actually really normal, and it's not really hurting anyone.
Those reactions are not normal since nobody else ever has reacted that way towards any of them. Okay, there are some pretty weird Sonic fans that have a lot of in-depth fan fiction of creating relationships with pretty much every combination of characters possible. Other than that, no, it is not normal. You are right that it isn't technically hurting any actual people, but that doesn't make it any less weird.
Joe, by any chance you haven't written fan fiction about Sonic characters, have you? Joe, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just trying to come up with an answer to your question that won't cause you to think less of me as a human.
Okay, maybe I don't need to hear the answer to that question after all.
Yeah, I think that's probably for the best at this point. Joe, are you going to even attempt at calming yourself whenever Amy shows up, or if we decide to let you play as her? I don't think we've completely decided who is doing which character yet, but if we let you play as her, then I don't think that's going to end well for anyone.
All right, if it's for the sake of the group, then when Amy shows up, I'll see if I can calm myself and not say anything out of pocket to or about her.
Okay, I'm glad we're making some actual progress on this. I was worried you would get upset and... Forget the intervention for a moment. How did that even happen? I fall down by accident and the game just decides collision doesn't matter and Sonic dies. Great stage design here, everyone. It just makes you lose when it feels like it.
Yeah, for once I have to say that wasn't your fault. All of the other times Sonic has bit the dust were because of you, but that one was completely the game just messing with you.
Oh yeah, the whole intervention thing. Typically the reason people do this is because they love the person with a problem and want them to be better. Here though, we just want you to stop simping on video game characters. I don't really know how else to say it.
I don't know if that was supposed to make me feel better, but if it makes things better for all of you, then I'll keep my words and thoughts in check around Amy. I'm not sure if I can stop the other recurring jokes or characteristics like my popsicle addiction and all those stories I like telling you all, unless you want to have another intervention from me in the future.
We probably should have more interventions for you, but we'll keep it at the one and count it as a victory for us.
Well, hey, should we actually talk about the level? We were so focused on the intervention for me that we didn't mention it all that much. I don't really like this level at all. It has a lot of different places to go to, but I don't find much of it all that good.
I think we're all in agreement that this level isn't that good. The first part is fine, but the part where you have to time the rocket to go in the cannon can be annoying. There's this whole section here where the place flips around and the button at the end has really bad collision too, but not like falling through the floor like earlier.
Don't forget the Knuckles part where you have to keep moving the whole place around in certain angles to have a chance at getting the emeralds. It is nice to interact with the level differently in a way, but I do not find it fun at all to climb around, but we'll get there in a while to complain more about it.
Yeah, I can't see this one as being many people's favorite regardless of which character they're playing as. At least for Tails, there are some nice skips, but that's really all it has going for it.
It's done now, and that's what matters most, until we have to play it 2 more times anyways.
Ha! They're too late!
Not the birdie!
All right, I can do this, just need to focus on something else. That sky looks, dark now.
Not exactly a very interesting thing to bring up, but it's definitely progress over your Amy Rose obsession earlier.
Be gone, all of you! This is all I really need! Gamma!
What is your wish, Master Robotnik?
Dr. Eggman just yells at Gamma, and it can somehow hear him from whatever dark place he was at before with no issue.
Get rid of these pests! Show them what you've got!
Aye, aye, sir.
And don't disappoint me, or else!
If this fight is anything like the Knuckles fight, then Gamma's about to find out what or else means.
Even though I really like this game, there's just no defending most of the character fights, especially against the main characters. It literally takes less than 10 seconds and there's no real strategy for any of it. Definitely one of, if not the weakest parts to the whole game. The fight just started and it's already done.
I really like the 10 seconds with literally no dialogue whatsoever. Very enticing watching Gamma fall apart like that.
Step aside, Amy! Out of my way!
No! This robot is my friend! He helped me!
My favorite character of all time, Amy could have stopped Sonic before the fight started. She didn't even try to do anything until well after it would have been helpful.
Not that it would have saved that much time, but yeah, you're right, that would have been better to say something sooner.
Hey, the ship is losing altitude!
Hurry, Tails! Take Amy and get out of here!
Well, what about you?
I'll find that Eggman and put him out of commission.
All right, everyone, while Tails and Amy leave, we did want to address something that may disappoint some of you about the playthrough. We are not going to be doing much with the Chow Garden, although we did want to at least visit it once, so there's some acknowledgement in game.
Barack mentioned before we started today that he wanted to stop by since there's a weigh-in right around here, so we figured stopping by for a minute couldn't hurt. I did actually want to do something when you get in there, though, if you don't mind.
Sure, I'll hand you the controller when I get in there. What did you have in mind exactly?
Well, do you remember what I mentioned I would do involving a Chow in that Sonic Games tier list from a while ago?
Not exactly. I vaguely remember some of the opinions, but that was a while ago, so I'm not exactly sure about what you would have said without watching it again.
Well, just take a look for a minute, because I'm about to do something really important to one of these eggs.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I promised that the next time I play this, I'd throw a Chow at a wall and name it Barack because of how little I actually care for it. I didn't think you'd actually remember that far back, but I did.
No, Donald, I didn't remember a one-off comment you made in a single video over a year ago. I'm not sure if we can remember what we say in those videos, much less the viewers to remember things like that.
That's all right. It's just something I needed to follow through on since we're not coming back here after this.
Let's get out of here before Donald endangers the Chow any further than he already has.
If I'm to continue, I need to change this ship back to its original shape. There must be a switch somewhere on the bridge. I've got to find it now.
I always found this chair and button to be really unnecessary and complicated. Like there was really no other way of changing the shape of the egg carrier except doing it like this.
Perhaps Dr. Eggdog isn't as smart as he thinks he is. How would he even get up here naturally? Unless he has the Lightspeed Dash 2.
I'm not sure he thought a lot of his plans through, considering most of them in the game rely on Sonic not moving at all, which, to be fair, has been a very effective strategy so far.
Oh no, guys, it's chaos again.
Oh no! Not again! Chaos? Could this be the same beast?
Oh yes! Attack Sonic now!
All of the potential seriousness of this scene was immediately removed as soon as Big showed up. Nice job ruining it.
Just leave it to me.
Now I have 6 of the Chaos Emeralds. There's only one more left to find. Even found Chaos's missing tail.
You won't get away with this, you madman!
I will. You're no match for Chaos, even though he's not perfected yet.
Barack is no match for Chaos Zero, so I can't imagine Chaos 6 is going to be any easier.
I'm probably never going to hear the end of that one, aren't I? Anyway, this is actually one of the more enjoyable encounters against Chaos since there is some level of strategy. You'll need to throw these ice eggs into him, which causes him to become vulnerable to attacks. You could just use the homing attack, but if you use the light speed attack instead, you'll do twice as much damage. Sometimes charging it up won't work well since you may hit another egg and ruin the chance of actually using it.
I didn't know you could use the light speed attack that way. For the longest time, I thought I had to wait until he had his mouth open before throwing the eggs in, so it just never occurred to me that throwing them in any time could work.
I didn't know that for a while, to be fair, but being an expert gamer such as myself, I learned very quickly. It's an improvement over the Chaos 4 fight since you don't have to wait for him to get out of the water for half an hour.
That is still the worst fight in the game to me. This one is about done now, so let's just move on.
Goodbye, Chaos. Maybe one day you'll be a good fight, but not right now.
No way! I can't believe this!
Sonic! Hey there, Knuckles. Glad you finally made it. I thought you got lost or something.
Until we meet again, Sonic!
Stop! Come back here!
Whoa, is Sonic actually chasing after him? I thought he would have just stood there, so this is a really nice surprise. Not sure if I agree with him just jumping off the egg carrier with no backup plan on landing safely, but he's finally doing something in a cutscene.
I hate Eggman. Where's this?
Guys, do we really have to play the Lost World level? I don't think anybody likes this one, so we can just skip right by it.
No, Joe, we're not skipping it. We'll talk about Lost World in a minute.
That light. I think it's trying to show me something.
Joe, your idea about skipping Lost World is probably the smartest idea you have ever come up with. I know we've complained about a lot of later levels, but this one really takes the cake when it comes to bad levels.
I agree with the sentiment that it isn't a good level, but we can't just skip the entire thing just because we don't like it. If it's reasonably different, we're not just going to skip the whole thing. Since none of us really like this, maybe we can talk about something else in the meantime. Joe, did you have the answers to the last comment question ready? Now would be a good time for that.
Yeah, I did write down a list of the answers that were posted there. Quite a few different answers, and most of them are 3D games. Sonic Mania got mentioned twice, all the other ones were only once. There was Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, Sonic Generations, Shadow Generations, Sonic Heroes, and both versions of Sonic Unleashed. I would have expected more classic games, but I guess that's not what people brought up this time.
If you all wanted to hear more about our opinions, you can check out that tier list we made a while ago. It's a long one, but definitely worth watching for my opinions on the series.
Not just for your opinions, but yes, you should all check out that video when you're done with this one.
For the next question, we were wondering what people's favorite character to play as in this specific game would be. Aside from the really obvious answer that I'm trying to hold back on, I'd say Sonic is my favorite because he has the most levels and is the fastest, which is nice in these games.
I know we tend to disagree on a lot politically, as many of the audience already knows, but in some way getting to agree on these things within the game does bring some common ground to us. None of us like Sky Chase or Skydeck or Lost World. All these things can bring us together rather than tear us apart. I hadn't really thought of it like that until now.
I'm really glad you had that revelation about agreeing before I had a chance to complain about the water snake section. It's so easy to fall off, and especially when that snake brings you to the last section where you just start glitching all over the place. Must be the worst section in a level in any Sonic game rather than just this one. Sorry to keep trashing all over the game, but those things really get to me. Seems like it got to you too. Not surprised you fell off again at this point.
I'm not defending Barack causing Sonic to fall off the stage again, but do we need to remind you of your performance as Snake in Raiden? I seem to remember you getting caught way more than even new players would, and had an abysmal start where you were getting chased for minutes on end. Got 7 alerts in the first part.
Donald actually was a new player to the game, but aside from that, Joe, you were completely correct. Glad someone actually points out that expert gamer Donald can be just as bad at games as anyone else can.
All right, I may have had a few slip-ups in my gameplay, but that's not the same thing exactly.
What makes it different than me messing up?
Well, it's better if I mess up because I'm the one doing it.
That makes absolutely no sense, so I'm just going to move on before I hurt my brain thinking about what you just said. The next part is the anti-gravity platforms, and it's actually pretty fun to try out different ways of getting to the top section since you can spin dash directly up and get a lot of height.
Yeah, I kind of like this part actually.
Hold up, guys, I know the camera's about to get stuck here. I've done that jump before, so I knew the camera was absolutely not going to be cooperative there. Even though that wasn't the intended way of getting there, you'd think the camera would be a little more functional than that.
There's no way I'm going to even attempt defending a camera angle that bad.
Wow, what's this? A mural.
I wonder if this is the place Dr. Eggman found that Prophecy mentioned a while ago.
I wonder why she doesn't just show the whole flashback story for each character rather than only give them pieces of the past.
As long as she doesn't give us a flashback of how Lost World was built, I don't really care how she presents it.
If these weren't a fictional species, this would give the game a way higher age rating.
Why? Why did this have to happen? It's terrible. I must stop this now.
Oh yes, stop it after the fires are going and the Chow are dead. You have almost as good sense of timing as Sonic.
What was that all about?
Is there any reason given as to how she can just bring people back to witness the past? It's been a while since I've played this, so I may have missed it.
I can't remember any reason being told or shown on how she does it, no.
No, and I'm still wondering how Tails can collect a power-up in the past, and also how she can bring a robot to witness something when it's not alive.
What's he doing here? Well, never mind. This time I'll get him good.
Oh yeah, Sonic is really serious now. Not sure why he's so focused now of all times, though.
No idea, but before we get into Final Egg, I think now is a good time to at least partially decide who gets to do the next couple characters in the game. We can focus on Tails and then Knuckles since they're the next ones coming up.
I think Joe should handle Tails and I'll play as Knuckles. Tails is probably the easiest character to play, so Joe will have less trouble playing as him, and me playing as Knuckles is very close to how I obtained my riches in reality.
Like getting the Master Emerald is similar to you getting more wealth? I don't really remember the part where Knuckles' father gave him a small loan of 1,000,000 emerald pieces.
I'm not following Donald's logic, but I do agree with his idea. I'm fine playing as Tails since I get to go really fast and fly around a lot. Is there any chance I get to play as Amy at all, or are we not deciding that right now?
I actually have an idea on that one too. Joe, if you can pull yourself together, whenever Amy shows up for the next 2 character playthroughs, then you can play as Amy. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, I think I can do that.
All right, then the next 2 characters at least are settled with maybe another one planned. I know it's a lot to handle, Joe, but I think you can do it.
Yeah, it will take a lot out of me, but if it's for the group, then I'm willing to try. Hey, now that we're in the Final Egg, what do we all think about it? I kind of like it at least more than the past couple levels, but I don't really love it. The first section just has a lot of spinning things coming up, and then you have to go up and down again in that large tube, and it's just weird.
No, I don't like this place at all. I agree that the section coming up is bad, but the rest of it isn't that much better. There's a few side paths to get rings, but not much in alternate paths like the first several levels had. This whole section of the game is where it really goes downhill in quality.
I don't think it's really bad, but I can't dispute what you two are saying either. I don't think it's a bad final level for Sonic by any means, though there are way better ones than this, of course. There is a strategy here where you could actually fall down and hit a checkpoint while dying to skip some of this section, though I don't plan on trying it this time.
I never really understood why falling down this place sometimes causes a death considering how much you're going up and down. I don't really like this part of the level at all, so I'll be happy when it's done. At least we don't have to go back to this place all that much in the game. Gamma's section is so short that there's barely anything to complain about.
Yeah, we'll get there in a while and see what's going on there. Since we'll be in the level for a while, was there anything anybody's been watching that they wanted to talk about to fill the time? That's pretty much what we've been doing each level that comes up.
I've actually been watching Dexter Resurrection when it comes out on Friday each week for a while. I like it quite a bit more than the other spin-offs, and especially the last half of the original series.
I stopped watching after that terrible finale where Dexter abandons his son and becomes a lumberjack. I mean, how did his boat get destroyed by Miami and then he ends up on the opposite side of the country?
That is a reasonable reaction, but I have been keeping up with the series too. Without going into spoilers, a lot of the seasons have some pretty lackluster endings. The main series has one of the worst endings of all time for television, then the sequel Dexter New Blood had a pretty odd ending too that was supposed to be very definitive, but not anymore after all.
I thought it was fine, though I would have been happier if Angel met up with Dexter on screen, but it happens later, so that's nice too. Dexter Original Sin was pretty good too, where it had a lot of the original characters with different actors to be younger, and it was very fun to watch, even if most of the characters are definitely safe because it's a prequel series. It's supposed to have at least another season, so I'm not sure how it will end exactly.
So you two are just going to be mouthpieces for the editor's opinion on the franchise. Is that what's going on now?
Yeah, that's been happening a lot on some of these Sonic videos. I'm not sure if the audience prefers these kinds of discussions during stages, but we would be happy to get some input on how we share these off-topic conversations. Anyway, Joe, you were mentioning Dexter Resurrection a bit ago. I'm still waiting until all of the episodes are out before I start.
Oh yeah, so I'm going to try not being specific since the show is still coming out with new episodes at the time of writing, and I don't want to spoil anything, but it's very good so far. Dexter, hence the name, is resurrected in a way where it turns out he didn't really die after being shot and goes to find his son Harrison in New York. I don't really like the way the series glosses over some details that would otherwise cause Dexter to be in jail or something from the last episode of Dexter New Blood, but other than that, it's a fine transition into the new location.
Does something get retconned and cause him to be free?
I wouldn't say retcon, more just that a certain character's motivations completely get undone with a pretty vague reason as to why she would stop what she was doing so suddenly. It's hard to understand, but once I got past that, it was a lot more enjoyable. Dexter gets caught up with a group of other serial killers where he doesn't completely have to hide his identity, but still kind of does. I don't think all of the other group members are that interesting, though, and there's not that much time to get an idea of who they are compared to other antagonists before.
Oh, so it's not like his usual targets in the other shows I see.
I'm still a bit cautious the finale isn't going to be good considering the others so far, but even if it's bad, the 7 episodes out so far are very good and almost to the level of the first 4 seasons of the original show.
A jump so majestic we had to see it from 2 different angles.
Well, if it isn't my pal Sonic. I'm surprised you made it this far.
Not sure why he thought Sonic wouldn't make it this far, considering every other thing he's built hasn't stopped Sonic. Except I think it was Big Arm that could hurt him in the super form in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, but that's the closest I can think of.
Eggman.
Alright guys, it's time for the Egg Viper. He's not an overly difficult fight or anything, but I have to be careful of falling off potentially. If Ben were here, and if this was a Final Fantasy game, I'm sure he would do one of his roasting sessions right about now.
I miss when he used to do that. Not enough to ask him to do it again or anything, though.
Joe, I hope you didn't have any more things you were going to talk about for the Dexter series, since I'll need to focus up for this fight about now.
No, I'm pretty much good now.
Okay, good. For those in the audience who aren't familiar, the Egg Viper will shoot at Sonic and he just has to run to avoid getting hit. It will stay in the middle for a moment, giving Sonic time to use the homing attack over to him and get sent to the other side of the room. After doing that a few times, he destroys half of the platforms and goes to the next phase.
This all sounds a lot more difficult than it actually is. You're basically never at threat of falling down until the very end, and even then, it's really easy to avoid that happening.
Maybe it's just the idea that you could fall down that makes it seem worse.
I don't know, to me it's like being worried you'll sink in the quicksand against the golem fight in Casinopolis zone. Yeah, it's technically possible, but probably not going to happen.
Okay, it probably won't happen, but that doesn't stop me from thinking about it anyway. After this phase is done and the platforms start getting destroyed, the Egg Viper will come up from below and break platforms one at a time. There you have to jump on the disc platforms he sends your way and hit him when he brings them back to him. It's almost over at that point, so it is a pretty simple fight once you know what's coming.
Even though I don't think this is a great fight, it is probably the best one for Sonic, since you have to actually pay attention a little bit and not either wait for the time to attack or just have it be over in 5 seconds like the main character battles.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm ever going to defend the fights in this game, as most of them are bad, if not awful, and there's like 3 good ones maximum. Definitely one of the weakest parts of the game.
Well, there's also the odd physics that causes Sonic to get stuck on things, various characters being not fun to play as mainly Big and Amy, the needless search for missions that should all have been available without having to find them first. The second half of the stages being of much worse quality, the cutscenes being oddly animated in later releases. The boss fights have some competition on what is the weakest part of the game, is what I'm saying.
That was almost like Ben's roast, except it was about the game instead.
Despite Donald's rantings about the game quality, in many places I was able to beat the Egg Viper without an issue. Glad I didn't fall down like I was worried about.
Despite having a few spots where you clearly weren't careful, Barack, that went relatively smoothly for Sonic's section. I can only imagine how much more quickly the rest of the game will go by when we get to the other characters.
Oh yeah, I should be up next with Tails. This should be a fun time for everyone.
We'll see soon, probably assuming our editor actually uploads the next videos in a timely manner. We're about done for the day, so we'll cut it off before the credits start, since they happen at the end of every character's ending, but we will leave them in for the last video.
Thank you to everybody watching as always.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And peace out, people.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Sonic Adventure. I'll be playing as Tails today, and we'll have a lot to go over as it's been a long time since we last played.
Yeah, no kidding, Joe. But as usual for this game, there's a lot to watch, so the story can continue, or in this case, start over from a different perspective.
All systems go, full speed ahead. Uh-oh, what's this? No! Ah!
I know Joe hasn't actually started playing the game yet, but this does seem very accurate to how he would handle flying in a plane.
I thought it would take a little bit longer to get to Donald roasting me, but I should have seen that coming.
Sorry, it's just a force of habit at this point. I'll try not to do that too much, but no promises when it comes to me, especially if you do something dumb. Looks like he should have said something right there, but I guess changing the music abruptly was more important than adding his audio.
So what went wrong anyway? It's not like you to crash like that.
Yeah, it's just that I'm testing a new prototype power supply, and it's not fully compatible yet.
It's been so long that I've forgotten how the music just drowns out the child actor's audio to where you can barely even hear him. Unless you're watching this in the compilation or when the whole series is out, in which case it hasn't been all that long at all.
It's a Chaos Emerald! No way!
I was lucky to find one of the 7 Chaos Emeralds. They have unlimited mystic powers.
Oh, if they're that unlimited, then why would Dr. Eggman even need more than one? Not so unlimited after all. Okay, maybe I shouldn't be nitpicking all these lines so soon into the video.
Not really the best way to welcome the audience back, by complaining about things that don't make sense, but that's Donald for you.
All right, guys, let's focus up on some updates, starting with the game itself. Joe is playing today as Tails, and I'm pretty sure we can get his whole story done without needing to split it into multiple parts. He's going into the sewers for an item. We're going to assume that you all watching have seen the previous parts, as we're editing this in a way that skips a lot of backtracking with areas we've already seen.
Look, it's your jet anklet. Its jet power makes you fly faster.
Thank you, glowing orb, that really helps out a lot. Donald should be playing as Knuckles next time, and later on Joe can play as Amy if he behaves himself around her, but who knows at this point.
I am in recovery from my weird things I say about video game women and girls, so I think I'll do okay.
I am Dr. Robotnik, the most cunning scientific genius in the world!
Yeah, right, Dr. Eggman.
Enough! I've been working on a master plan, but now it's time to put it to work!
And we will be pausing on occasion to let the game scenes play out, but we're not going to let them go on unedited for too long, unless something really important is happening in the game. In this case, it's just Dr. Overweight saying how he's going to do something with his master plan.
That's more for the people who needed a reminder since we haven't played the game in a few months.
Well, how are we going to handle scenes like this where it's nearly identical to one that we've seen in another story? It's almost the same as Sonic's, even if the line delivery is different.
If it's that close like this, for example, then we can skip ahead a little bit like we do for the gameplay, but we won't outright skip any entire scenes or anything.
Okay, I think that's more reasonable then. Hey Joe, do you think you can take him on, or do you think you'll need any help?
I think I've got it. Thank you.
Yeah, this isn't a difficult fight, so you will be fine. Anyways, back to the updates. We have a lot going on behind the scenes that have caused some changes. We've been using a new site called Fish Audio that allows us to use the voices since PlayHT shut down. We would definitely like people's input to see what they think of the voices. When we get to uploading the next part of Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, then you'll hear Ben and Jordan's voices to get an opinion there.
It would have been convenient to use the new program called Zonos that some of the other President channels have been using, but the computer our editor uses isn't compatible. He only learned this after spending a few hours each day for around half a week figuring out how to get it to work, only to realize it wasn't compatible with a required element that he couldn't get around without spending a lot of money on a new computer entirely.
I'm sure you could have given him a few billion to spend on a computer that would work on it.
I already gave billions to Israel. I don't have any left to spare.
Oh yeah, same here.
That was just too easy.
Gotcha!
Hey, he snagged it!
Chaos could use a little snack.
Is it redundant for me to complain about the fact that Sonic and Tails are just letting him have the emerald with no opposition in the slightest? I mean, if we have to watch it again, then I think it's fair to bring it up again when it happens.
It would be redundant, but I do get your point on it being relevant since we're watching an almost identical scene. So I don't really care if you bring it up personally.
Chaos' strength increases every time I give him a Chaos Emerald. All he needs is 7 emeralds to become invincible. Then he will turn Station Square into rubble.
Ah yes, because the Station Square location, the only place in the entire world that he can use to build Eggman Land. Wouldn't it make more sense to make it really close to Station Square so he can actually have people go to it? It makes less sense to build a place where people would want to go to if they knew a town had to be destroyed to make it.
That does make a lot more sense.
Thank goodness they're gone. Good riddance.
We can't let that monster get any bigger. It could get ugly.
You're right. Chaos must be stopped. And he can be if we keep him away from more emeralds, right?
No Tails, we should be giving him all of the emeralds we possibly can. That's the only thing we can do to stop him from becoming perfect chaos.
Let's just move on to the first level, that being Windy Valley. This is the start of a trend of the Tails levels that being just cut up parts of the levels. Sonic goes through. This one skips right to the second part after the tornado. Any plans on how you're going to approach this, Joe?
I'm just going to fly over everything. I know I'm supposed to be racing Sonic, and the fastest way to do that is to just skip anything that I don't need to be around, including the ground beneath me.
Although I'd like to criticize your decision to just ignore anything you can. It's not like the game isn't clearly encouraging this with all of the dash ring. It's a weird decision to make Tails barely experience the level as Sonic did, and not one of the better design choices.
Yeah, this was not well thought through. The last level where Tails goes into Speed Highway is different enough since you fly from building to building and get to some new areas, but other than that, it's almost identical. Just curious, would you all be willing to play this game if it came out on the Nintendo GameCube Classics lineup of games on the Nintendo Switch 2?
Yeah, actually, that would be pretty nice. Not that I think really highly of most of those 3D Sonic game releases, but the idea of having them available would be good. Doubt it will happen soon, if at all, since they only release around one per month.
They take up a lot of space with the games that are on there already, so that would be a lot to download. Yes, I would be willing to play it there. Also, for this level in the sewers, I'm just taking the regular way as there's nowhere else to go.
We're not even really cutting that much out. It's just that Tails' story is really a lot shorter. I mean, yeah, we're cutting out some backtracking though. It's not like this will take people as long to get through with only half the stages compared to Sonic, and even then, it's usually only half the stage present.
My problem is that it's fun to play as Tails, but the game encourages you to just not interact with the levels, so it's not as interactive as other characters would be. It's a shame since he could really benefit from his own levels like Sonic Adventure 2 did with their characters.
What's that?
Seems like a Chaos Emerald, but not the same color we're used to seeing Tails. I hope that cleared it up for you. Considering you had it as a power source about 5 minutes ago.
Nighty-night.
Eggman. Sonic, what happened to the Chaos Emerald?
Eggman got one of them, but the other one's safe. He must be getting desperate.
Not really desperation, just that you two stand still whenever he's around so he can just take the emeralds easily.
Hey guys, Cream the Rabbit is here. She's my second favorite character in the series, after Amy Rose, obviously. I just like when she flies around every once in a while, and helping us from afar with her blue cheese guy.
I'm kind of glad we're using a new website for our voices since our editor doesn't know how to make you go nuts over yet another character. I know you're in recovery for that, so it could be a lot worse.
Once he does figure it out, then that will be something to look out for. But Joe has been making a lot of progress in not being that way around people in games. It's a lot for him, so we should be thankful he's been doing well.
And would you look at that, he's already to Ice Cap. It's barely 8.5 minutes into his story and already at the 3rd level. Nice to know a lot of progress is happening.
Do you guys want to go over those comment question answers? Not like there's a lot of different paths I could be trying here, so might as well.
Yeah, sure, we can do that. The last question in the previous part 4 months ago was what the favorite character in this game was. We got 1 vote each for Tails, Gamma, and Big. Kind of weird how Sonic wasn't mentioned as a favorite, considering he has the most to do in the game. But that's an interesting result.
Hey Joe, you alright over there?
Yeah, sometimes I just get Tails stuck on a wall every once in a while. It happens.
I don't think that's something that should be happening normally, but as long as you get to the end before Sonic does, then it will be fine.
But before this level is done, we're going to ask the next comment question for today. What is your favorite level in this game specifically? It can be any stage just in general or any specific character's iteration. Whatever you think of will work.
Unlike last time where there was a multiple month-long gap in videos, we should read the answers a little sooner than before. Also, I really hate Tails' missions here where there's the flags and those jumps you have to make above. I'm glad we're not doing the missions in this playthrough.
Hey, Knuckles! What's up? What are you doing, Knuckles?
Don't mess with me now. Just hand over the emeralds you have. Quick!
Alright guys, I'm going to need complete silence if I want to focus on this incredibly difficult fight.
Oh no. Oh no. Give it your... Oh no.
Good job, Joe. I almost doubted you there for a minute, but you did it.
And they're all mine.
Eggman's back! He's got the emeralds!
Hey guys, are we going to have me fight the next Chaos guy again? Or can we just skip past it since there's nothing new there compared to the last time he showed up here?
We'll probably just have you do it off screen, as it's not interesting the first time, so it's not going to be any better the second or third time. If anything, it's less interesting because you can just fly around to avoid attacks. So there's less active involvement.
4! Count them! 4 emeralds. I summon chaos! Come forth!
You know, as much as I joke around with the actions in the scenes, the line delivery can be really amusing when it's like that. If anything, I'm at least not bored with what's going on in game, even if most of the characters just stand around and do nothing when it comes to the emeralds.
It's changing again! We gotta stop this fast!
And by that we mean cut ahead past the most boring fight in the whole game that Sega thought we needed to experience like 3 times.
Maybe they just didn't have time to put in more unique fights, and since this was the first proper 3D Sonic game, they had to reuse a lot. They did it with the stages, so why not the fights too?
Behold my floating masterpiece, the Egg Carrier! But it pales in comparison to the power of chaos.
I wouldn't say he's more powerful right now. Sure, when he turns into perfect chaos later, then it makes sense. But at the moment, the Egg Carrier is a lot better. Plus, if he had the resources to make the Egg Carrier, couldn't he have just made his Eggman land instead?
Let's get to my workshop and we'll take the tornado.
Yeah!
You guys go. I have some unfinished business to take care of.
No problem, Knuckles. We'll take care of everything here.
I've never really thought about this before this playthrough, but there's quite a few moments where there's a pretty noticeable pause in character lines, as if the game is loading every single audio line individually, and takes more time. Maybe that was something that originated in the Dreamcast version and just carried over, but I don't know for sure.
What are you talking about? It's perfectly normal to have noticeable pauses in lines like this, with nothing happening in between.
No, I'm with Barack. This is pretty weird to do it like that instead.
Sonic, hop in. Let's go.
Hey Barack, are we skipping Sky Chase too?
It's exactly the same. So we don't want to bore our audience. At least with the Chaos fight that we skipped. You could make the argument that Tails flying makes it a little different. But for this, there's nothing different. Sorry to skip out on parts of your story, Joe, but it's not interesting to show again, regardless of who is playing it.
As long as I get to play as Amy, I don't care about anything else that gets skipped. Just don't skip a second of her story, and I'll be happy.
Guys, you're talking over the incredibly touching story of how Tails met Sonic in this jungle. Or I think that's how they met. I don't really know, but we're talking over it.
Wow, that dream brought back memories.
Was that our editor who made that really sudden cut from the dream to the real world?
After playing this game again, it's equally likely. It was just like that to begin with. But probably our editor.
If I'm gonna get that egg carrier, I need to finish my prototype. It needs a Chaos Emerald to work. Looks like I'd better find one fast.
Okay, maybe I can actually play the game this time instead of having multiple minutes of cutscenes with nothing I can do in the meantime.
Sorry to break the news to you, but we're about to have another one of those scenes right about now.
Wow! There's a Chaos Emerald! Hey! Wait up! Stop!
If it helps Joe, this is an area we didn't see in Sonic's story, so we're not going to cut out so much of it. Plus, I get the feeling when I play as Knuckles soon, there's a lot of skipping around there too, so it won't be just happening to you.
Yeah, I know it's a little unfair that I got 3 videos to play as Sonic, and the rest of the characters have much shorter journeys, but it's just natural, especially when there's a lot of repetition for some of them, having almost identical scenes that we don't need to keep it all in.
It's not that even, but I'm okay with that. Sandhill is pretty fun as a Tails exclusive area. I mean, I can't really die in it, and it's over in less than a minute, but it's something that I get to myself for once. Tails doesn't get much of that in his story as he's following Sonic for most of it.
And you're doing a good job getting in these weird red structures. I kind of wonder how this place can even exist so close to a city and a jungle. Plus, I don't know who would be placing all these red things around since there's not much realistic point to having them, but I'm probably thinking about this too hard.
Hey Donald, are you doing all right? You kind of sound like you're speaking through one of those contraptions where you have 2 cans connected to a string. I used to talk with those to my friends before the Alexander Graham Bell made his invention that made talking at a distance easier.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just something that happens with fish audio sometimes. Usually having another generation of a line will fix it.
I wonder where I am.
Okay, this next part here has something that's always bothered me and I've never really understood it. I'll explain why after it happens.
I think I know what you're talking about if it's about the item here.
You found the rhythm badge. To do continuous tail attacks, hold the action button down.
I don't understand how we're essentially in someone else's memory and yet we're able to physically obtain an item and bring it back with us to use in the present. It's not like this is a literal time travel thing, or at least I don't think it is, so it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that bugged me even in my first playthrough. I just can't make any sense of how that works.
It's something my grandmother taught me. I'm never to forget it. It goes like this. The servers are the 7 chaos. Chaos is power, power enriched by the heart.
I wonder if her grandmother also paused every time the text box needed to be updated too. or if that isn't passed down genetically.
Forgive me, but I don't think we've ever met before. I'm Tikal. And you are?
Well, my name is Joe, plus I have my good friends Barack and Donald with me to play this game that you're in.
If anyone makes a fat joke about me chasing a Big Mac like Big is chasing Froggy, I'm going to be very upset.
Donald, I was definitely not considering saying something about it that much. Okay, maybe a little bit, but I probably wouldn't have done it.
That's how I intend to keep it. I haven't even eaten that many today, so it wouldn't make sense.
This will get my Tornado 2 up and raring to go.
Our editor wanted me to say here that he did not edit the audio there. It really does just cut off abruptly. He thought it would be funny to leave in for his own amusement. And hopefully the viewers too.
So, here it goes. Emerald, do your stuff. Ready, Sonic? Here I come.
So if he doesn't just happen to have a Chaos Emerald with him, which I imagine would be most of the time considering how bad he and Sonic are at keeping them, would this just be powered like a regular plane? I would think so, but for something with limitless power, it doesn't seem to act differently than it has in other games.
I don't really know. It probably has some regular way it's powered, and then the Chaos Emerald method is just another way of doing it though. I haven't thought about it before.
Not really sure why we're thinking so deeply into the logistics of how the two-tailed fox decides to use his jewelry-powered plane, but that's certainly one way to spend our time.
There's Sonic! Sonic!
All right, Tails! Way to go! This plane's cool.
Is it bad that I thought Tails would have hit Sonic with the propeller and killed him right there?
I was actually thinking of the same thing too.
Now what do you say we nail those guys?
You got it! Hang on!
Hey guys, this is completely unrelated, but did any of you happen to watch Tron Ares? It came out on Disney Plus recently, but it was in theaters a few months ago. I really liked it, but didn't know if either of you watched it.
I did not, and based on the box office revenue, not a lot of people did either. I'm guessing you'll be giving your opinion on it soon, but maybe we should wait until we get around to Skydeck, since there's more scenes for us to watch before then.
Yeah, that would be a better time. You're right.
Wow, this thing is really huge.
No time to gawk, Sonic. We gotta find Amy.
Hold up, did someone say Amy? Wait, I'm trying not to react when I hear about my favorite characters. I can hold it together. Plus, if I go nuts right now, then I can't play as her, and I don't know what I'll do for myself.
If that's what you have to do to keep focused, then you just think about playing as her later, despite knowing it will be an absolute catastrophe that's bound to be assuming our editor learns how to make you regress back to your old ways.
Whoa! Hey, it transformed! Did you see that?
No, Tails, thank you for pointing it out to us. And good job, Joe, on holding it together. Only 2 or 3 more parts until we see if all of that self-discipline paid off.
Guess you weren't expecting that, were you? There's only one way to get to me, Sonic, and that's through the sky deck. I doubt if you can make it.
Assuming the floor doesn't just decide to become intangible like it did to me, then I'm sure Tails can make it.
That was pretty amusing, though. Oh, and if you want to talk about your Tron Ares viewing, then you can go ahead, as there's not much else going on.
So I did wait to watch it on Disney Plus, since I don't really go to the theaters much anymore. I thought the movie was pretty good overall, even though it was more of a sequel to the original Tron rather than Tron Legacy, even though it takes place after both. The main antagonist is pretty good. And Jared Leto actually isn't bad, despite him not saying it's Morbin time once, which I would have enjoyed.
I'm not sure if judging a movie or character based on the metrics of saying the catchphrase, "It's Morbin time," is really a good idea. Otherwise, no movie can really be good.
What are you people talking about? He definitely did say it's Morbin time at least 12 times throughout the movie. I was watching a bootleg version since I didn't want to go to a theater or wait for it to be on a streaming service, so maybe I didn't watch it correctly.
You definitely did not watch the right movie, but anyway, the visual quality was great, both in and out of the grids, and the soundtrack by 9 Inch Nails is amazing. The ending scene kind of feels like it's not going to go anywhere, since the movie failed financially.
Yeah, I'm really heartbroken about it if the tone of my voice didn't give that away.
Sonic! Tails!
Ha, you're a bit late.
Not the birdie!
I do like how Amy tried harder to hold on to the bird than Sonic or Tails did with any of the emeralds. I know I keep bringing it up, but the plot would have been done 2 parts ago if they just didn't let Dr. Eggman take them with no resistance whatsoever.
It is a valid complaint, even if it is a little repetitive. Then again, the game is repetitive in nature.
Get rid of these pests. Give them all you got.
Aye, aye, Master Robotnik.
I'll leave it up to you, Gamma.
Okay, guys, this is going to be one of the hardest fights in the whole game, so just like before, I'm going to need complete silence from you two so I don't mess it up, otherwise we'll be here all day.
Don't worry, Joe. We will let you focus on this absolutely insane experience.
Resistance.
Whoa, Joe, that was an absolutely incredible several seconds you took to fight what was no doubt the hardest boss in the entire franchise, maybe even the hardest boss in the history of gaming. Humanity for generations will look at that moment as the peak of human achievement and strive to do something as good as that.
Honestly, I don't think even I can repeat what I just did. I am glad I was able to perform at such a level that nobody else could even attempt to replicate with any form of success.
Get out of here!
Well, what about you?
I'll find Eggman and put a stop to his evil ways.
Did anyone else notice Tails' eye get weird there? It's like it was coming off of his head for a moment when he started moving.
No, but knowing this game, I'd be more surprised if there wasn't some kind of graphical glitch. Maybe the eyes are separate from the actual character models, so it's not as easy to just make them stay in the right place when a character starts moving.
I really do like how this place looks in the evening. It's a really unique view, and I like it more than it is during the day.
I definitely agree, and is one of the parts I have come around to liking more than Sonic Adventure 2 being the art direction. I don't think the actual graphical quality or character movements are better, but it's more appealing as the areas are more based on real-world locations and try to look more like places people could live at. Then again, nobody could live in Speed Highway or Windy Valley, but I mean this more for the hub worlds.
Yeah, I can agree that it is a pretty good look, even if the DX version changed more than they should have.
I'm finished. Chaos was defeated, and now my egg carrier is ruined. No matter. I will destroy Station Square anyway.
Sorry guys, I think I got the controller back in now.
So did Tails fall over because of the rocket that's coming up? There's nothing else really on the ground to show that the area is shaking a lot, so I don't know if it's that or if he just has a hard time balancing like Joe does normally.
I should have expected one of those jokes coming as soon as he fell down.
I think that it did cause him to fall, because he otherwise wouldn't have had any reason to, even if it could have been conveyed better.
Ah! No, it was a dud. I can't believe this.
Even if he didn't know it was a dud, you think he would have just used the missile first, if he's had it the entire time. Would have saved a lot of effort, especially if it actually did work.
It would have, but then the game would have been around 5 minutes long and we wouldn't have been able to play any of it. So maybe it's for the best.
I see it! I've got to get it before Eggman.
So guys, this might not be the best time to ask, but have I shown that I am capable of playing as Amy without doing anything weird at all?
I'd say you're just about there. The only reason I'm not saying yes is that there is still more time in between now and then for something to happen, but you have definitely proved so far that you're willing to be okay even with all the weirdness you show sometimes. We'll make a final decision soon, but if you keep it up, then the answer will definitely be yes.
For as much as I joke around, you really have been doing a lot better, and I'm glad to see you've been making progress that I wouldn't have thought possible for you a while ago. I'm thinking you will be able to play as her, but we still have me playing as Knuckles next time before we get closer to you playing as Amy.
Oh, thanks guys. I'm really happy that you two have been noticing my efforts to be better about my reactions. It sometimes takes a lot out of me, and it's still a work in progress, but I'm doing way better than I would have been a year or two ago. Oh yeah, should we actually talk about what's happening right now? After all, this is the last Tails level, and we're almost done for the day.
Honestly, there's not much left to talk about. I think this level is pretty good in that there are some different ways to get around than you could as Sonic, but it's over in like just over a minute. Even if we didn't cut anything out, the dash rings make it easy to know where to go. But it's like pretty much every Tails level in that it's very short, so not much left to mention.
It is a shame that it's done so quickly, but if you play as Amy, then none of it will matter to you.
It's Robotnik! So you beat me to the missile, you little pest. I will make you all pay for this.
Get out of here!
That was probably the most quiet landing sound I could expect considering the size of that machine that came down from nowhere.
Before I make mincemeat out of you.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I can do this!
All right, guys, it's the last fight of the story. Is it safe to guess that I'll just beat him really easily with very little resistance, just like every other fight so far today?
That is correct, Joe. You will likely not have a difficult time with this. For those of you who are not familiar with the game, you just have to wait for him to step on the ground until the blue light starts glowing more. Once you hit that, then you jump up to where Dr. Eggman is at. You'll have to repeat this a few times, but with hitting the blue lights more often. Once you do that, then you've finished him off. Then you're all done with the story, which Joe should be doing in about a minute, if even that.
Should we just give our final thoughts on the story since there's not much time left? I think it was pretty fun to go through stages in a way that made it so I had to avoid what I could, but also not so much that I skipped all of it.
I found it rushed and not all that enjoyable when I play it. Jokes aside, the fights are way too easy to really be fun, and even the last fight here is too simple. I guess it makes sense that a less experienced character in the lore would have a less difficult story to experience, but at the same time, I don't think that makes it more fun to have the player be encouraged to ignore as much as they can in service of getting to the end more quickly.
I think it's fun enough, but I mainly agree with Donald. Also, with the exception of Speed Highway, it doesn't make sense why you have to beat a character in a race. Otherwise, you just lose.
Hey, I did it!
You saved the day! You're the best!
I did it all by myself!
And there we are. The Tail story has been finished, which just leaves us 4 more to do before unlocking Supersonic. Should only be around 5 more parts and the game will be over. Maybe we won't take 3 or more months to release the next video after this. Otherwise, the game will be done sometime in late 2027.
All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for today. Thank you all with your patience while we get more videos out for you to enjoy.
Next time, it will be me showing everyone who is rougher than the rest of them, the best of them, tougher than leather. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And peace out, people.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Sonic Adventure. This time we're about to have the best president, that being me, play the best character in the game, that being Knuckles. So let's just get right into it.
Those specific details you mentioned are up to debate, but you are correct that we're starting a new character now.
That egg carrier coming up on Angel Island doesn't look reassuring at all. At least we get to see some new scenes since Knuckles has a different perspective on the adventure.
From anything that could harm it. I don't know why I was given this job, why it was my fate. Destined to be here forever.
At this point, there's nobody else of the Echidna tribe that can watch over the Master Emerald, so it kinda has to be you.
What's going on here? Oh no!
Nice job, Knuckles. We're 1 minute into your story and you already failed at your one goal with the Emerald. I'm not surprised the Echidnas went extinct right about now.
LOL, that is pretty harsh, but also completely true.
Oh! Ah! Hey! No fair!
Knuckles is struggling almost as badly as Barak did against the Chaos Zero fight.
Of all the times your memory had to kick in, it would be about my subpar skills in that one fight. I don't know if I'm ever going to live that down.
What's happening to you? Come back here! Whoa, that was incredible. I've never seen anything like it. Oh no, it's starting to happen. Without the Master Emerald's power, this whole island will fall into the ocean.
I've always wondered how falling into the ocean actually affects the ecosystem of this place. It doesn't seem to really change anything in the gameplay, but maybe I'm thinking too much into it.
It's up to me to find the missing pieces of the Master Emerald. It won't be easy. Pieces flew off everywhere.
Well, having a radar that detects where they all are in a level is certainly going to help.
You are correct, but we can save that discussion for when we're actually in a level. which is going to be very soon, as Speed Highway is the first place we're headed.
I am excited to see how you're going to play this, as Knuckles has a different goal than other characters when he's playing his stages. I mean, there's only so much you can do to find the emerald pieces, but still.
All right, the first level is up. How are you feeling on this?
I'm feeling fine, especially since it's the first level. I do want to take a moment and explain how Knuckles plays, as it's different than Sonic and Tails in both what he can do and what his goals are. He controls pretty similarly, though isn't as fast by comparison. Instead of using a spin dash, he can glide around, which makes it easier to travel, kind of like Tails. Knuckles needs to get every emerald piece in a level, and there's 3 each. There's a radar which tells you when you're near one, but they're randomized when you enter a level or die in it.
The levels themselves are generally more restricted than other characters' versions, but they do require you to interact with the environment more than you otherwise would have before. You can't exactly just skip everything like you could as Sonic or Tails. In this case, Knuckles just gets the ending section of Speed Highway, but never goes to the nighttime section, as searching for emeralds, there would be an absolute nightmare to go back and forth in.
Do we really need to explain everything that's going on here since we're 5 parts into the series?
I think it's helpful since there is a much different goal here compared to other characters. And while the game is pretty clear that's what you need to do, it's still worth mentioning. Besides, it's not like we can just assume everybody watching these videos has played the game before. Yeah, it's probably likely they have, but we still want to acknowledge those who are new to the series.
Oh, okay, that is pretty reasonable. I didn't think of it like that. Sometimes I forget that I've played these games for years, and even though they're pretty old games, not everyone who plays Sonic has played these specific ones.
Oh sure, you couldn't remember that, but all of a sudden, me making one mistake in a fight 5+ months ago, you remember like it was yesterday. Anyways, Donald, you did very well in Speed Highway, and I think we're just going straight into Casinopolis.
Yeah, we're definitely continuing the fast pace that we started last time of just getting through pretty much every story in one video. Besides, there's not always that much between stages, so it's natural that it goes by pretty quickly.
Speaking of going by very quickly, you've already got the first emerald piece. I really do wonder how exactly these pieces ended up here from a lore perspective. At the beginning of the story, the pieces scatter, but they make their way naturally inside of this building when it was originally closed. That's pretty hard to believe. I mean, I get why from a gameplay perspective, but it's just amusing to think about.
It's best not to think about those things too hard, or it's just not going to make sense. Either way, I'm already about done here, since nothing can challenge the Donald himself when it comes to gaming, or really anything.
You better not get too confident there, Donald. You won't have to fight Chaos Zero and mess up like Barack did. But there is a new fight coming up soon, and you don't want your ego to get in the way of that.
Aside from me catching a stray there, he is definitely right about not letting your ego get to you.
Where in the world am I? I don't remember being here before, but something about it is familiar.
Is he about to get an upgrade in someone else's memory too? It wouldn't surprise me if the game did that again.
No, Knuckles will be getting something later on, but it will actually be in the present, so it makes sense. I still can't get over how weird it was that Tails got an upgrade like that.
Maybe he is just built different. I think that's the line we usually use whenever something doesn't make sense around here.
Father, please don't!
Decode, the 7 emeralds are essential to our survival. It is for the good of all our people.
How can I make you understand?
You can make me understand any day if you know what I mean. Wait, no, I need to control myself if I get to play as Amy. I'm sorry, Echidna lady.
Not the right pronunciation there, but otherwise, good job holding back, Joe.
Beg you, Father!
Huh? Now where am I?
You're back outside Casino Night Zone. Or Casinopolis, same idea.
In all fairness to him, teleporting through time and also to a completely different area must be disorienting.
Hey, it's Dr. Eggman. What's he got there? It's gotta be a part of the Master Emerald. Hold on! Come back here!
I like how slowly Dr. Eggman is going. It's like all of his weight finally caught up to him, and he can't go any faster than that.
Eggman, give me back the Master Emerald.
Knuckles! Oh, this isn't what you're after!
You're right.
That's okay, though. I can use you as a guinea pig to test it.
He's actually an echidna, not a guinea pig. I mean, he doesn't look like either now that I think about it.
Chaos? It's that creature again. The same one I saw on my island. He was there when the Master Emerald shattered. I'm sure of it.
I do like how compared to the previous story, Knuckles gets some unique fights and something new to do. It's really a step up compared to Tails, who was lacking in interesting things to do, except for the last few minutes.
Yeah, even though I'm not the biggest fan of this game, Knuckles and Gamma are pretty fun. Maybe not as much as Sonic, but they separate themselves enough to be worth me playing the stages again. I look forward to playing as Gamma later on if that's what we agreed on before.
Fine, give it your best shot.
Alright guys, as you all know, I am the best when it comes to all activities, but especially gaming, so this shouldn't be a challenge at all. I'm thinking of going through the whole game without taking a hit starting now.
That is absolutely cap, but I'm sure you'll do fine. This isn't really a hard fight since you just have to wait until there's an opening like the other encounters like this.
Hey Donald, how was that hitless run you were talking about?
Don't worry about it, Joe. I'm getting into my Ultra Instinct focus mode right about now. As soon as I have a moment to focus exclusively on the game, then I'll beat him with no problem.
Is this your focus mode? I can't really tell because you're not really doing anything to him.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention earlier that there are these red orbs that come up to give you hints. They're usually just in the stages to direct you towards emerald pieces. But they also show up if you're struggling against a boss, which is happening right now.
Now, that must have been a glitch in the game because I'm doing way better. I was just warming up before. Yeah, that was it. Besides, I didn't die or anything against him, unlike you in the first fight of the whole game, so I'm still better than you.
Okay, fine, you did it. Let's just move past it now.
So what if you won this time? You have yet to see the true powers of chaos.
Yeah, that still doesn't faze me. You hear?
Actually, no, the music does make it pretty hard to hear you right about now.
It's about Sonic.
What? What about Sonic?
He's after the pieces of the Master Emerald too.
What do you mean?
And this is how Knuckles got tricked yet again into fighting Sonic as if it wasn't obvious enough that Sonic isn't the bad guy here. Not like it even makes a great fight since it's just oh no on repeat, and then it's all over when it happens.
I wonder what he meant by that. I'd better find Sonic.
I really don't get why Knuckles is really taking Dr. Eggman at his word. It's not like he's proven himself as a trustworthy character, but he just goes along with it. Won't really affect all that much in the long run, but still an odd plot point that doesn't go that far.
You are correct. But more importantly, we have a new item to get. For some reason, the game decided to lock out one of Knuckles' most iconic features in the game behind an item that we can get right about now.
You've got the shovel claw. Now you can dig through dirt and stone. Press the jump and action buttons simultaneously.
This is a really good time to get it because we're locked in this room. Thankfully, there's a button underground on a switch that allows us to kill the robot monkey that's closed the way out because it's not like Knuckles could have dug himself out. That was probably one of the weirdest sentences I've said in a while just now.
If you said something like that at any other time, I would send you directly to the nearest retirement home, but you were actually correct with your assessment. I'll just get an emblem floating in the middle of nowhere then. Off screen, I'll bring back that switch to blow up the next monkey and head to Red Mountain.
Hey guys, I was wondering something. How exactly does Knuckles' radar work? Seems like a weird thing he can do, and I don't know if there's any explanation in the game that would make sense.
I did actually have an idea on that. So for reference, I'm going to read out some of the lyrics from the song that plays in Pumpkin Hill from Sonic Adventure 2. I know that it's here. I can sense it in my feet. The great emerald's power allows me to feel. Now I realize taking lyrics from a background song from this game's sequel isn't exactly definitive evidence, but that's the only in-game explanation that I'm aware of.
So Knuckles' shoes are what guides him to the emerald pieces? If he left them on Angel Island, then he wouldn't know where to find them and had to rely on the red orbs then.
Well, either that or his feet specifically. But that's only if we take it completely literally. I was more thinking of the part where it says the emerald's power allows him to feel meaning, that it's a specific ability he has from the Master Emerald. Then again, that implies that the Master Emerald has some level of consciousness if he says it allows him to feel it rather than Knuckles specifically using the Emerald's power as a tool.
I specifically don't really care about it as long as I can find the pieces, but I'd like to know why it was nerfed in the sequel so he could only scan for one piece at a time. The Great Emerald's power didn't allow him to feel them all at once there.
I have no explanation for that one. Sorry we didn't really focus much on the level, since that topic took our focus a little more than I thought it would.
It's fine, don't worry about it. I found the pieces, so that's what matters.
There's Sonic. Eggman was right. What's that in his hand? It looks like a piece of the Master Emerald. He has no right to have that.
It's not like any specific person owns them, besides it's not like you're doing much with it, even when it is all in one piece.
Whoa! What do you think you're doing?
All right. Put him up. Hand over the emerald now.
That's not gonna happen, buddy!
All right, guys, I need complete silence from you all to focus on this.
Oh no! Oh no! I've had an... Oh no!
Wow, that was a really difficult fight. Almost as difficult as the ones I went through playing as Tails against Knuckles and Gamma. You were really lucky to get through those so quickly.
For the first time in my life, I thought I wouldn't do something completely perfectly, but I was able to do it. So let it be known that it is solid proof I am the greatest president, person, and most importantly, gamer to have ever lived.
Knuckles, did you let him trick you again?
Like you weren't.
Smooth move, knucklehead.
Hey, are we going to mention at some point that we've actually met a version of Knuckles in the Kingdom Hearts playthrough? Just figured we'd bring it up since Donald is playing as Knuckles, so it's fitting.
Actually, yeah, that is a good point. It'd be nice to see him again one of these days. All the viewers should check out Sonic Discord server where he came from and also watch their playthrough of Sonic Adventure. Granted, they do get a lot of views, so it's statistically likely you've already watched it first, but wanted to mention it to those who aren't familiar with their videos.
No problem. I'll make him eat dirt.
Also, we are totally skipping this fight, since really it's not fun the first time. So it's not going to be more fun the third time.
Behold my flying fortress, my creation, the Egg Carrier.
I don't really care about it much anymore since this is the third time we've gotten the same scene. I get that there's multiple characters seeing it, but we got the idea the first time.
You go on ahead without me. I have some things I need to take care of.
No problem, Knuckles. We'll take care of everything here. Let's move!
All right, now we'll finally be able to get back to some new content, or at least a new power-up that we haven't seen before.
Speaking of which, I think we're about to see it now if I remember correctly.
Considering the green glowing section here, you are correct.
Now you've got fighting gloves. To store up power, hold down the action button. Now you can do the maximum heat Knuckles attack.
I'm not a big fan of this myself since most enemies go down in one attack normally, but it is helpful against one of the later Chaos encounters, so it's not completely useless, only useless 99% of the time.
That is a good way of putting it. It's a disappointment that most of the power-ups in this game aren't that useful. Sonic's are pretty good, and some of the other characters are helpful, but not that much. I doubt you'll need Big's upgrades much unless you're going for the heavier fish, and you'd probably be okay without the others for the most part. Granted, it's not like each of the other games like Sonic Adventure 2 have a ton of really good ones either, since most people don't use the sunglasses or Mystic Melody, but this definitely wasn't a great start to the concept of upgrades found in the field.
Donald, I'm glad you could find those statues while Barack was talking, since I wouldn't have been able to focus on it with him talking that much.
To be honest, I was having a tough time, so I can't blame you there.
Sorry, sometimes I get pretty focused on topics like that, and I talk a lot, not like you really had to look that hard for one of them, since it was pretty close by and the other was just at the start.
Oh yeah, we're starting another level. Kind of weird how we're only about 15 minutes into the story and already on the 4th level. But to be fair, cutting out backtracking in some sequences will cause it to go by a lot more quickly. This isn't even that bad of a level here. If I had to search for emerald pieces in the same place as that snake room, I would have thrown my Dreamcast out the window, but this place isn't all that bad. Not a fantastic place for a level, but it could be worse.
I never really thought of it like that, but yeah, I guess it's not that bad here. Still not a great level either way, but you seem to be doing fine enough. Having all the pieces in one room like this does make it a lot better, especially since Knuckles can climb the wall without relying on the gravity panels.
Okay, with this lovely camera work, I'm starting to go back on my opinion of this level right about now.
Don't worry about it, you got out of there within a few seconds.
I'd prefer to spend no seconds with the camera being like that, but yeah, I'm pretty much done here, so let's just move on to where that won't happen again.
Hey, since we're making some good progress in Knuckles' story, we would like the viewer's opinion on how much we have been cutting out of the past couple parts. It is probably noticeable that there's some little sections cut out, but want to be sure that whoever is watching doesn't get stuck with the same scene multiple times in the same playthrough, or if you'd prefer to leave it all in.
So in better terms, just let us know what you think of the editing.
I beg of you, hear me now. My father is coming here soon, and I fear what may happen. You must take everyone away from here. Oh, please.
Can the Emerald really just send people away? Maybe it really is conscious after all.
So, are you saying you can't leave this place? I understand. Let me talk to my father again. There must be a better way to do this.
I know we were joking earlier, but is the Master Emerald actually sentient and alive? Either that or she's imagining a conversation, which isn't that much better if she's supposed to be the guide for each character.
I'm not sure how I never noticed it before, but yeah, this is getting pretty weird. Unless we are all just missing something really obvious, then it seems the Master Emerald can talk with her at least, and maybe others, but I don't know.
To be fair, when I don't take my medication, I talk to emeralds too.
What? I'm back in front of the altar.
I am more puzzled as to how this Lady Echidna can do all this when she can bring people back in time and give them physical items to bring back and teleport them. You'd think she could just use her powers on Dr. Eggman and send him in the middle of the ocean or inside the volcano at Red Mountain, and the day is saved right then and there.
Her abilities do not appear to be all that consistent as the game goes on.
It's still incomplete.
Does that mean Angel Island should go up most of the way even if it's not exactly back to where it was? I think we can manage by having it a little bit lower than it was to begin with. It's not like a floating island has to be at only one elevation level.
You must have taken your medication today because you are spitting facts right now. I'd like to just have it go up enough and then be done with the story, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Where the rest of the pieces must be. But I don't know where that ship is.
This is probably one of the most bizarre character introductions from any character's perspective. He just watches a robot fall from the sky and completely ignore him. Not that them fighting or having any other interaction would be all that enticing, but still, it's kind of funny to see it happen.
It does lead him to the next location, so it does have some value, but yeah, it comes out of nowhere from Knuckles' perspective. Also pretty weird how the Master Emerald, even when incomplete, can just show where the rest of it is. Imagine if he looked at it during the start of the game where it just showed all of the levels jumbled together and he couldn't understand any of it.
Just what I thought. Time to make a house call.
I can see why Sonic is better at the one-liners if that's the best he can do.
Oh, finally a new scene of the egg carrier. I was so used to seeing the old one that I'm surprised they even made another cutscene with it.
Now we'll see who's so easily tricked. I can sense that the emeralds are here somewhere.
Even if Knuckles finds the emerald pieces, that doesn't mean he's not easily tricked. I don't really get what he meant by that.
Guys, before we get to the next area, I did need to ask something very important to the both of you. Since I've maintained myself to what I think is a good standard, does that mean I can play as Amy when her story is the next one to do?
I can't speak for Donald, but considering how you have only had 1 or 2 moments of going into your past behavior and you were quickly able to control yourself, I vote yes, you can play as her.
I'm going to say yes as well. As much as I make jokes about you, something about your efforts to becoming much closer to a normal human being have been great to see and gives me some level of hope to your future. It would be wrong to deny you the acknowledgement you deserve for bettering yourself.
Wow, thanks guys. I've been trying really hard and I'm so happy to know that you two think I've been doing well. I won't disappoint either of you.
Keep in mind that I will not hesitate to wrestle the controller out of your hands if things start to get crazy with you, but I do not believe that will be a problem with how well you have been doing.
And unfortunately, I think we have to shift our focus over to what might be the worst level in Knuckles' story, that being Skydeck. If the entire area were stationary, then it wouldn't be terrible. But the fact that you pretty much have to move the ship around to get the emerald pieces makes it really inconvenient.
Yeah, I have to agree. For me, the level moving around isn't even that bad. It's more that it's a lot harder to reach some areas when it's not in the normal state. I think that if it was optional and just made it easier to reach pieces rather than requiring it, then it would be better. But I don't know if anything could make it actually fun.
I don't really look forward to this place in any story, so I'm going to have to agree with you two. I'd really like if a different section of the level was chosen that isn't so annoying to manipulate. At least you're almost done, so we don't have to go through it much more.
I will be especially glad to get out of this place. Only a little bit left to the story, and then I'll be done for the day.
The last missing piece. All right. Now, to restore the Master Emerald. Huh?
I was about to ask why Knuckles is getting so many flashbacks, but since they're both echidnas, that makes sense.
Oh no, not again. What is the meaning of this?
Probably to teach you something about the Master Emerald's history. but I've been on Truth Social during some of these scenes, so I haven't gotten the most out of it.
Hey, what happened here?
I couldn't stop them. They came, and my father... I had no idea how bad this would turn out. I'm shocked.
Well, if you stay around this fire for too long, you're about to get burned too.
Look! It's the emerald! Wait!
That was a really inconvenient time to stop that flashback. I'm not even sure what the point of that one was since it didn't go on for long enough.
Not sure, but I'll be content knowing that there's like one fight left and then we'll be finished up for the day.
Emerald pieces, but I still can't figure out that creepy monster. Huh? What's that?
I don't really see anything weird at all. Maybe he has better vision than I do.
Was that supposed to be Chaos getting more of the emeralds? I can't imagine what else would cause light like that to just happen, unless Dr. Eggman is throwing a party we weren't invited to.
Yeah, I remember now. It is a party that he's starting. So let's get over there and make ourselves welcome.
Ah, not again! I hate you!
Hey, Sonic!
Hey, I didn't think of this before, but with the Chaos 4 and 6 fights, who actually is the one that fights them? In the game, there's more than one character fighting, but it can't realistically be all of them. So I'm not sure if it's actually Knuckles that does this fight, or if it's Sonic, otherwise they would all be showing up at the same time. Does that make sense?
I'm not really sure. I do get your point, but it's not something I've really thought about much, since as long as Chaos or whoever we are currently fighting against loses, it doesn't really matter since the game continues on either way.
It can't be! I guess he didn't get enough the first time. You can't stop me from restoring the Master Emerald.
All right, now for an actually engaging fight. This is the only time I'm using that maximum heat Knuckles attack since it does do more damage when he's frozen than a regular hit. It's nice to have a strategy that's more than just hitting the enemy when there's a good opportunity, even if it's still a pretty simple strategy.
All right, I'm excited to see it in action.
Hold up, that was rigged against me. The floor made it stop charging, so it didn't work when it should have. I should be able to do it the next time, though. Okay, it looked a little weird, but I still did it as I intended to the first time. Now, it doesn't really matter if I do it again, as he only has one hit left until he's down.
Speaking of which, I think you're about to do it and finish things off for now.
Is that all you've got?
I mean, we all knew I was about to do it first try with no chance I was going to fail, but now I've officially done it and proved myself the best gamer in history, and also forever.
Congratulations, Donald. Aside from that one part against that Chaos fight earlier today, you didn't really have any problems and you got through everything we needed to today. The only thing we didn't really do was dig up one of the hidden emblems near the entrance to Speed Highway, since we couldn't dig at that point. But other than that, it went as smoothly as I could have hoped.
Yeah, Donald, you did do really well, and I'm excited that we get to move on. Mostly because you did a good job, but also that means I'm closer to playing as Amy.
The Emerald is probably giving him another vision right about now. It says to vote for Donald in 2028 so he can play more Sonic games while in the White House.
You know, for some reason I don't believe that's correct. It's hard to explain why, but it doesn't sound all that realistic.
This should do it. Perfect. All is well now. The Master Emerald and the island have been restored.
I think it's about time we give our final thoughts before the video is over. I'm really glad this story exists, and it shows more to the overall events than it did for Tails, since his wasn't all that unique, but this one had more substance to it.
I liked watching it today. Although I'm not the biggest fan when I actually play as Knuckles in the game, there's not really that much I don't look forward to except Skydeck. It's fun to look for the emerald pieces and learn more about the Echidna backstory, even if it still didn't give a complete idea on what happened.
I thought it was a great time, especially with all of the repurposed levels having something new that they didn't have before and after. I'm happy that I was here to play as Knuckles and have you two here with me. I really hope all the people that watched this also had a good time seeing what both we and the game had to offer.
We're over halfway done with the game, so we should be able to finish up within a couple of months without too much issue. Thank you to everyone watching this and our other videos.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And peace out, people.
I may not know the whole story behind this, but perhaps it's better that way. I'm at peace once more.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Sonic Adventure. Today I'm about to have the best time of my life playing as Amy Rose. I've never looked forward to a moment in any playthrough as much as this.
I mean, you still sound pretty monotone, but I really hope I don't regret having us play this game today. I don't know if I can handle you going back to your old ways around her.
There she is. It's her. It's Amy Rose.
Gee, I'm bored.
You can be bored with me if you know what I mean.
Joe, we're barely half a minute into the story and you're already losing it. You need to control yourself.
I miss the good old days. Hanging out with my hero, Sonic. Chasing bad guys. And blowing them away.
I am fairly sure this is meant to be the events of Sonic CD, but this section doesn't really look like anything in that game. It looks similar to the egg carrier, but it doesn't really match anything that we've seen before.
There was always something fun to do with Sonic around. I really miss him. Hey, what's going on here? Is there an eclipse today or what?
I bet it's the egg carrier after all. We've only seen it come up in every story so far, so why not have it come back again?
What do you know? It's the egg carrier again? At least it's different seeing it from the perspective of someone in Station Square rather than much closer. So there is that, but at this point we've seen it like every video so far and I doubt that's going to change.
Ah! Watch it! Watch it! Ow! You should watch where you're going, buddy! Hey, are you all right? You look kind of hurt.
I've never wished so badly to be a bird before in my life. Well, there was this one time where I really wanted to be one after reading one of those Animorph books, but other than that, I've never wanted to this much before.
Thank you for that very important information, Joe. We really needed to know that.
Yikes! You almost ran me over, creep! Oh no! Let's get out of here!
Don't worry, my girlfriend. Amy, I would never let anybody or anything harm you.
Joe, she's like 12.
Yeah, I know. I read her Sonic Wiki entry page every single day.
That was not the point I was trying to make.
Huh. He must have captured you, and somehow you got away, right? Don't worry. I'll protect you. I'll do my best to keep us both from harm. I'll stand by you all the way.
I will always stand by you, Amy. You never have to worry about any large robots capturing you as long as I'm around.
Joe, you were doing so well there for a while in our videos, but as soon as we start having you play as Amy, you go right back to the way you were before. I'm not sure how we can help you if you're like this again.
Guys, calm down. I was just pulling a prank on you two. I have been controlling myself. I just thought it would be funny to do a little prank on you two, as I knew it would be amusing to see me react that way. I am definitely not going to lose control in any weird way towards her, or any other character.
That is reassuring since I was about to use my nuclear launch codes on us as a last resort, but I won't be doing that if you keep composure like you say you can.
My hero, Sonic!
If Joe were still keeping up with his reactions, I'd make a joke stating he chases Amy the same way she's chasing Sonic, but the joke doesn't really make sense now.
Long time no see!
Amy!
What's your problem?
Well, for one, he has you following him, and he's also really bad at holding on to the Chaos Emeralds when he has them, so there's quite a bit, actually.
Doesn't matter. We'll just tag along.
No way!
Come on, don't run away! Oh!
I imagine that's probably what Joe says to Amy every time he's played this game before.
I hate to admit it, but you're right. I haven't reacted like that today, but when I used to not control myself as well, I was like that for the entire playthrough of her story.
Ah, look! Eggman's robot's on the loose!
Don't panic! I'll handle that bag of bolts!
Ah!
Now what's wrong? Huh?
I don't think this was intentional, but I do find it amusing how even the game's music transitions so suddenly from the threat of the robot to Amy seeing the Twinkle Park sign. It played for about 9 seconds and immediately transitioned to the next song with no attempt to subtly lead into it.
That's just Sonic Adventure's incredible attention to detail when it comes to how the cutscenes were made. Also, Joe, do you plan on going through the whole level, or are you going to skip about half of it like Barack did?
I don't think there's any skips with her, but even then, I don't plan on doing that. I need to be sure I prove myself here, especially since I just skipped over pretty much all of Tails' levels. Also because I just want to see Amy's story go on longer, and skipping parts of levels would go against that.
Maybe not the best reasoning possible for going through the levels as intended, but we'll have to take it.
Hey, do you all have any opinions you want to share on Amy's story here? I feel like our opinions might have changed since that tier list we did a while ago when we talked about the whole game and wanted to ask what you all thought. Aside from being able to play as my favorite character, it isn't really great. I mean, it's not all that bad, but definitely not as fast-paced as the others.
The only character that has a slower pace is Big, and his gameplay mainly consists of him not moving at all while you fish. So yeah, this isn't good. I mean, sure, it's kind of interesting that there's a character that plays differently as she has a hammer to attack, but it's not really any better than the other characters in both story or gameplay. I guess the whole robot searching for her is a little interesting in that there's a constant threat against her specifically, but that's not very high praise. This is definitely the character I enjoy playing the least. As much as Big's story isn't fun, at least it is really unique to play and talk about, but this is just bland to me. Maybe if our editor could get the emotions working properly on Fish Audio so I could really show how I feel, then that would be good. I could just use some of my money to create a site that has the emotion working properly, and then we'd be getting millions of views per video on that alone.
I think it's a little bit more intricate of a process to get that many views, but okay.
Whew! I'm glad we finally lost that robot. Sonic must have gotten lost too.
Or maybe he thought you were annoying and ran off.
Don't worry, Amy. If he is willing to capture you or do anything bad, then he will be my mortal enemy. Or maybe not actually mortal in this case, since he's a robot, but he's still my enemy anyway. I will never stop until he or any other threat to you has been dealt with.
Joe, if you had this level of focus you have right now during your entire presidency, then we would be in a utopian society. If only it could be used on something that's not a Sonic game. You know, for as much as I joke about this game, it really does have a ton of visual detail, especially for a place that we're only in for maybe 20 seconds at most of actual gameplay. If this amount of effort was put into everything else, then it would be the best Sonic game probably ever, especially if they cut out Amy's and Big's stories.
Hey, don't diss my girlfriend. I mean, Amy's story like that.
Quietly hand over the bird.
No, never!
Gotta love the mouth being fully open after she's done talking, since the lip syncing wasn't adjusted. Or I assume that's what happened.
You tell me why you want it now!
Does not compute.
You don't even know? I know you might hurt us both.
Oh yeah, I forgot to give my opinion of the story. Honestly, this part here of Gamma being more understanding after talking with Amy is the most interesting part, but that can't really make up for the fact that she isn't as fun to play as compared to everyone else. It's the least fun part of the game for me. At least it's not that long, so it could have been worse if she had to go through as many stages as Sonic did.
Hey, Birdie, come back here!
Hey, Donald, were you shaking like that when the Epstein files came out recently with your name all over them?
This is like the second or third time someone has brought that up in this playthrough, and the answer is yes, I was. But not like because I was worried or anything, so don't take it like that.
I think it's better for everyone's sake that we do not continue with this conversation.
Hurry, we'll be at the Mystic Ruin phase soon.
You're really nice. You're different from the other robots. You've got a soft spot inside your metal frame. If you want, we can be friends, okay?
All right, guys, I need you two to listen up. This next part is going to be really hard, and I need to focus. This is maybe even more difficult than fighting Knuckles earlier.
Wait, what? I don't remember anything difficult up ahead.
You're not going to escape from here. Let's see if you can clear this awesome game.
Joe, this isn't really a difficult...
I said I need to focus.
Trying until you get the high score. Good luck.
I really don't think that...
Okay, you got the high score. We can just skip ahead.
Joe, you're not even playing it anymore. You're just...
I still need to focus.
I can't believe this is happening!
Are you done now since the hammer game is over?
You two just don't understand the focus that a hammer game like this requires. It is above what you two can even imagine. I am on another level of thinking that this game brings out in me.
Behold the warrior feather! Now you can do the spin hammer attack. Press and hold the action button and move the directional pad in a circle.
Okay, Joe, before you start telling us more about your divine focus or whatever, I have to bring a few things up. I can only imagine the amount of bath salts Dr. Fatman had to be on that left him thinking, I should lock my prisoners up in this room, and if they escape, then they have to play a mini-game where they have to hit things that look like Sonic and they will be allowed to escape with no resistance. Then if that wasn't enough, he had to set the high score himself, but you only need past 2,000 points to leave. That's really easy to get, so that leads me to think he is horrible at his own game, or he designed it with the exact purpose of having people escape, which makes even less sense given his reaction. If he did it to where you would need to get an insanely high score and he had it there just to mock people trying to escape, that would make sense. But no, I think he just doesn't think through his own ideas despite his alleged 300 IQ.
Honestly, I don't have anything to add that pretty much sums up how bad of an idea it was for him to make that design the way it was. But I do have to ask Joe, what exactly was up with you there? I've seen you get pretty weird towards a lot of things and people, but I can't wrap my head around all that focusing you needed while playing that really easy game, especially when you stop midway through to just run around.
Sorry about that. It stems from my very first playthrough of this game. I was playing it on the Dreamcast or GameCube or something, and I really struggled on it. Like for 6 hours, I kept getting in the negatives, and I couldn't beat the score. I was having a lot of trouble, and when I finally did it, I felt such a weight lifted off my shoulders. Ever since then, I've needed complete focus to play that game with any success. As for me just running around after that, that's been my victory, running around tradition that I also need focus for, since one time I didn't do the running around and my system shut off suddenly, so I think it's bad luck if I don't do it.
Joe, that might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say.
I have to agree with Donald here. That made absolutely no sense, and any attempt at picking apart the complete lack of logic will ruin me emotionally. Wait, do you guys hear that?
Good morning, gentlemen. I apologize for coming in so suddenly, but I had to drop in to give some absolutely vital information that is going to change the trajectory of our nation. I would have come sooner, but I ran out of gas driving over here and have been running for 67 miles with no brakes. I outran Secret Service, but I can't be here long since what I'm about to tell you all is of utmost importance.
Ben, you're not even in this playthrough. What are you doing here? We'll get back to playing Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater one day. But running over here isn't the way to do it. Unless you're talking about what I think you are, and we already brought that up earlier today.
No, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm talking about something different that will take up essentially all of my time next year. So at the Game Awards, there was an announcement for Mega Man Duel Override. This is the next game in the classic series of games in the greatest franchise of all time, and I am insanely excited for it. It is supposed to come out in 2027, and I will be making at least 3 videos on Daily Wire per week with theories and speculation on the plot. Then when it comes out, that's all I'm doing for the rest of the year and probably remainder of the decade.
Yeah, Ben, that sounds really interesting. I'm definitely following along right now.
Doubtful, but do you all really understand what this means? We can finally have a bridge from the classic series to the X series. Sure, there was a hint that the Robenza virus in Mega Man 10 would lead into Mega Man X into some way, though that was mainly a theory and nothing explicitly made clear. Even though Mega Man 11 was a very good game, it played it completely safe and having no real plot advancements towards development aside from the gear system and some backstory going on, but this is finally our chance to have a real explanation on what happened to everyone. It's been decades and there has been no clear answer, but this is finally my chance to have this closure in my life.
Yeah, that's all good, Ben. But did you really run that many miles here just to tell us that? Couldn't you have just called or something? I'm sure it would have been a lot easier than your idea, especially since you had to break into the White House to do it.
Look, I was going to make all of you stay here and we could record the rest of the classic series, but I didn't account for the fact that Secret Service taking me in would hinder that, so maybe I could have thought through my plan a little more. I'll stop by another time, but I've got to leave right now. I'm just going to use the window if you guys don't mind, since they're coming through the main doors any moment. Peace out, people.
Great, now I have to get window repairs done, considering Ben just jumped through it. I thought I would have needed to throw someone out of the window at some point during my presidency, but I didn't think it would be him, and I didn't think he would have done it to himself.
We will definitely have to address this to him later. But let's just focus on the game now, since we haven't really talked about it for quite a while. I don't think we even mentioned Hot Shelter once, when Joe was playing it.
You're the Chow.
This must be taking place pretty far in the past if she's only just now learning what the Chow are. Or I think at least the timeline isn't really clear on when these flashbacks take place.
You know that is a pretty weird reaction. But if I saw water just become sentient and start becoming a human-like figure, then that would actually be pretty reasonable to jolt like that.
Gee, what was that? I wonder if I'm dreaming. Oh my, I need to get out of this place!
Since this scene is partially a repeat of another we've seen from a few angles already, I think we can just give our thoughts on Hot Shelter here. It's one of my least favorite levels in the game, and I don't really like going through it with anybody. At most it's fine, but it can be a drag, especially for Amy, who isn't exactly all that fast to begin with, and the layout certainly doesn't help.
It's right down there in quality with Skydeck, but this one doesn't annoy me as much, so I'd say it's a little better, but definitely more boring. At least it's nice to look at, and the entire structure doesn't move around like Skydeck does.
I'm just happy to see Amy, so I don't mind any level as long as she's there.
Please stop!
Amy? That's one of Eggman's clunkers. Out of my way!
No! He helped me before by letting me escape. This robot is different.
Based on the music choice, this is going to be a very emotional scene for someone who's going to be dead by the end of the game. If he can even die since he's a robot. Anyway, we know what happens here. They all get away, so let's just get right to the explosions.
You know, you guys didn't have to cut out those scenes Amy was in. I was hoping this video would be at least 3 hours long before we moved on to the next story.
I know, but let's be realistic. This is not exactly the most enticing game ever, when it repeats almost verbatim. Other scenes we have already witnessed more than once before. I think we will be okay moving on past that, by being more efficient with our editing.
No wonder they were after you, my feathered friend. Hey, a pendant! Wow!
I don't know why, but I find it amusing that the picture inside of the pendant has the pendant as a part of the picture. It's not like it's a mistake or anything, just something I thought was funny.
Yeah, sure, Donald. I'm going to be thinking about that for weeks.
I bet he does. So I'll help you find your family. I've come this far. I may as well go all the way. That robot said Dr. Eggman's base is in the Mystic Ruins. So what do you say we check it out?
Joe, I'm really glad you're doing better controlling yourself. Otherwise, when Amy said she may as well go all the way, I thought you were about to have the most insane demonetizing reaction we've ever seen from you.
I'm not going to lie, it took everything in me not to say something, but I'm glad you noticed.
I don't remember this bridge. Looks dangerously suspicious.
No, Amy, I'm sure there is nothing remotely dangerous in there. I mean, what could have given you that impression?
All right, guys, you know what time it is? It's time for me to focus, and it will be more necessary than it was last time I needed it.
You're almost there.
All right, Joe, I will admit that time was more necessary than the hammer game. Not because it's all that difficult to begin with, but because I wasn't sure how much cognitive thought you had left in you at this stage of your life.
Thanks for the compliment. Or actually, maybe that wasn't a compliment.
It was definitely not a compliment. But more importantly, we're in Amy's third and last level, the final egg. I actually think this level is the best one Amy has, which isn't really saying a lot since there's not a lot of options. But I think it's fine enough, especially with Zero being more of a threat through this one than the others. Is that someone running through the halls towards us again?
Hey people, it's been a long time since we've seen each other. You guys have really stepped up the security around here with all the Secret Service chasing me.
George, is that you? I don't think we've seen each other since the Final Fantasy IV videos, if I remember right.
Calm down, Barack. We're all excited to see George, but you're kind of losing it right now.
So what brings you here? And why did you have to run past Secret Service to see us?
Well, I don't have much time to explain, but have any of you guys seen Ben Shapiro here recently?
Yeah, he told us about this Mega Man game coming out next year and broke through the window right after.
Apparently his car broke down, so he ran 67 miles over here, which really shows his dedication even if he didn't need to tell us in person.
Well, that's where he misled you. I got a call in the early morning today from him asking if I could pick him up for what he called the most important news a president has ever been told, but he had to get to the White House today. I got him, but he didn't tell me until midway through the trip what the actual news was. When he finally told me, I turned the car around because he didn't need to tell you in person. That's where he took the wheel from my hands and we crashed in a ditch. At that point, I just started running towards him to show him what happens when you crash a former president's car, but he kept running for 67 miles straight while I was on my electric scooter that I had in the trunk of my car. He managed to evade me and got here before I did by a few minutes, and I'm still trying to catch him. It seems he's already escaped, so I have to continue my chase. I'd like to join one of your playthroughs sometime, so let me know after I'm done with this hooligan.
Seriously, he had to jump through the window too and couldn't even do it in the same place, so now there's 2 holes? I can only imagine why he hasn't been on the channel in a while.
He is right that he hasn't been here for a while. I'd be happy to see him more, assuming he doesn't break more windows.
Oh no! Are you okay? You idiot! How could you do this?
I don't know if idiot is the right word. It's not like attacking the bird is a sign of intelligence, but more something that shows his morals than anything else.
Yeah, the dialogue there could really use some work. If it goes down in quality anymore, it will be about on par with President Central script writing.
All right, guys, before we diss our editor any more than we already have, I actually kind of need to focus. I know we've been doing the running joke for a while, but this will take some time to have me beat this guy.
For those of you who are not familiar, this is the only real fight Amy has in the game against Zero. We didn't really mention this, but Amy has to run away from Zero throughout each level. But it doesn't really matter as he rarely gets in the way. Maybe we would have made it more important if we didn't get multiple break-ins in the span of 5 minutes. But now Joe actually has to fight him instead of run away.
I don't know why you two are making a big deal of this. You just use the hammer against him when he's not attacking you and send him into the electricity, then hit him again. That's literally the whole fight. It's only slightly more challenging than Sonic and Tails fighting Knuckles earlier, which is not saying much.
Okay, you're right. I've pretty much got him. And that's it. My favorite character's story is done. I was hoping it would have lasted longer, but I'm just glad I got to play as her either way.
Even without our editing out some extraneous parts, it wouldn't take that much more than maybe half an hour normally. So yeah, this is about how long I thought it would be.
And then the bird lived on for about a week, then got hit by a boat at the end. I'm going to contact my window repair company so you guys can finish up today without me.
Yeah, that's honestly pretty reasonable for him to do. Even though Amy's story isn't especially great, I am happy with how it turned out. Minus all of the damage done to the White House and the fact that 2 people broke in so easily. But I'm trying not to think about that. Also, Joe, I am very happy you didn't fully lose it at any point, considering how you are with Amy and pretty much every other girl or woman at one point. You have had a lot of growth and controlled yourself better than I ever thought. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Barack. That really means a lot to me considering the efforts I've made. I'm still not done with my improvement, but I'm happy to know I am showing signs of being much better than I was before.
You are most certainly better. I think it's time we leave Amy's story in the past and look forward to what's next. Speaking of which, I will be playing next time as Big the Cat for his thrilling adventure in catching Froggy. Thank you to all who have been watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And peace out, people.
Just watch me. I'll make that Sonic respect me. And by that time, it's gonna be too late.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another video in the Sonic Adventure series. I'm going to be playing again this time as Big the Cat. Figured if I got to start with the fastest character, then I'd also get the slowest to compensate.
I'm kind of sad that I don't get to play as Amy for 12 more videos, but I guess this is okay.
And there he is. The strangest decision for a playable character in the series ever who makes cameos in the next game just showing up in random cutscenes.
Ah man, this is exactly like that movie The Thing by John Carpenter. I can only imagine what horrors await Froggy.
This is nothing like that movie and he's going to be fine.
You know, out of all media, that is probably the best introductory line ever. I can't imagine anything that could possibly match that excellence in storytelling and lore. That truly shows what kind of a character he is right when the game begins. Such a masterclass of writing that will last for the rest of history.
Yes, Donald. I completely agree with that statement, and there is no other way to look at this scene, aside from being a complete mastery of the English language.
I don't get it.
Hey, wait a minute! You swallowed my lucky charm! Come back here! What's wrong with you? Something's not right. We've always been friends. For years.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I cannot take his voice seriously, and I get that it's the intention since he's a big dumb guy, but still, there is no part of this that I can be attached to in the slightest. Partly because of it being so tacked on to the rest of the events, and mainly because of that voice.
I don't know, I kind of like it. Reminds me of Duke Nukem.
Oh man, where could my Pollywog pal be anyway?
All right, for those of you who are not familiar with the game, yes, we are actually playing as a big slow cat in a game series starring a fast-running hedgehog. No, it is not clear exactly why this is required, but we have to do it before the game is done. As you can already tell by the video length, assuming you're not just watching this in the compilation, this is the shortest story aside from Supersonic. Even if we didn't edit it, then it would take half an hour at most. So it's not tough to get through.
You can get some abilities around the field, but besides the one that lets you float in the water, there's not that much use in them, so don't worry if you miss some. Besides, we're not staying here long anyway, so this will be a short adventure. I can already imagine the answers, but what do you all think of this guy and his story?
I like him. He reminds me of when I was a young lad a few decades ago.
More like centuries, but sure, we'll go with that.
Wait, don't run away. What you doing under that car? What's wrong?
To be fair to Froggy, if I had a 5-foot-tall purple cat running at me with a fishing pole, I'd run any distance I possibly could to get away from him. Really, I think Froggy is the most reasonable character in the game if you look at it like that.
That is absolutely correct. But more importantly, to address your previous question, when I'm not playing the game, I think big story and gameplay is really funny to think about since it's so different to everyone else's in the game. When I'm actually playing it, then it's much less funny because I simply can't progress quickly. Sure, the story is over in a short amount of time, but it's not all that enjoyable.
And now you get to actually start playing properly. Any plans on how you'll go through each level?
I'm just gonna go right where Froggy is and fish. There's no real benefit to actually fishing for anything else or even exploring since he's usually really close to where you start in each level. Sure, there are usually other areas to visit in each level, but there's not really much point in them since there's only one goal. The only real exceptions are the extra missions where you have to get a certain weight for a fish, but that is in no way required or even encouraged in the main levels.
Hey, you already got Froggy. That didn't take long at all.
Don't get too excited there, Joe. I still have to reel him in. Shouldn't take all that long, but still, I'm not finished yet.
Oh, good. You got him. I was worried there for a minute.
Joe, what is it with you and this frog? You didn't get this excited when you were playing as Amy, which I'm eternally grateful for, but I'm really confused now.
I don't know. I just got really excited when he got the frog. I always liked frogs growing up, and now we get to capture one in this game. I'm so happy. Oh!
Barack, this is quickly becoming the worst day of my life, which includes losing the presidency, getting arrested, getting shot at, and being banned from Twitter.
I'm not exactly sure how that last one is comparable, but other than that, I see your point. Joe, do you think you can calm yourself down for a minute so I can continue the game without me throwing you out the window?
I would prefer you didn't do that, since I just got it repaired from last time we played this game.
I'm gonna try, but no promises.
While Joe hopefully calms himself down, we're about to get an important new item.
You've discovered the life belt. It keeps you afloat when you're in water. To swim underwater, press the jump button when afloat.
This thing isn't even that good since you don't go into the water all that much. Or at least you're not required to for almost any level.
It's nice for when you want to explore, even if admittedly it doesn't have that much value in a standard playthrough, when you're just focusing on Froggy. Perhaps we can actually talk about how the fishing works for anyone unfamiliar. So once you're actually trying to fish for something, you can use the control stick to generally move around the lure, but you can only move it left and right. Even then, there's a limit to how much you can move it. You can press A or B to bring the line towards you. Once something actually catches the lure, then the music will start to get more intense, and you'll have to start pulling. If you start pulling too hard, then that meter on the right will get to the top, and you will lose a life, causing you to restart.
I've always found it really amusing how Big's life count actually goes down by 1 when he loses a lure. It's like he's so humiliated that he just ends his life because he didn't get the frog on the first try. Like that's no reason to make a move that drastic.
Speaking of which, Barack, you got the frog. I'm so happy for you. Ah! Ah!
Okay, Joe, we get it. You like the frog? You can calm down any day now.
Oh no, he's got my little buddy. Whoa!
Just to clarify, our editor did not take out the part where it showed how Big lost Froggy after leaving Ice Cap. He just doesn't have him immediately after.
Oh, now what am I gonna do?
You know, I was playing Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 5 recently, and I find it really nice how the game goes from cutscene to gameplay so well. It's so jarring when it happens here, and the music just cuts off so abruptly. More importantly though, we're about to get another item that you may have already seen during the introduction.
It's the power rod. You now have longer casting distance.
Well, that might help a little bit, even though I don't think casting distance was really a problem before. Oh, and just to clarify earlier, when I said the life belt was both useless and useful, I just meant that it only has like one realistic use and that's it. But I could have clarified myself a little better. Mistakes like that happen. But not to me, since I don't make mistakes, I just act like I do to seem more relatable to the average person.
Oh, just like that Lion King video with me in it. Was that an accident?
It was an accident that was made intentionally by a White House staff member using my account, but it also was me doing it, whatever makes me sound better.
Now we're in Emerald Coast. I'm so excited to get Froggy again. Ooh, this is the best day of my life.
Joe, do we even want to know why you're acting like this around Froggy? You didn't even get nuts to Amy when you were playing as her, but you're getting weird again for reasons I haven't figured out yet.
That would result in having him tell one of his Joe stories, and I don't think I can handle that right now. I've been happy getting a break from those while playing these games, so I don't intend for those to come back.
Ooh, maybe I could tell the story of why I like Froggy so much. I think that would be a great use of our time today.
Or you know, we could just not do that. I think it would be way better for us to not know whatever horrible backstory there is between you and that frog.
Okay, fine. I'm just glad you got him back yet again. I missed him.
Froggy? Uh-oh. No, hold on there. Come back, please. Give me my friend back. I'm begging you, please.
All right, I'll admit that one wasn't his fault, since you can't exactly assume a robot like that would just steal your frog and leave.
Yet again, the frog has been lost. So Big has to save him for the 4th time. We're only about 8 minutes into the story, so you'd think it would take a lot longer. But no, we're about halfway done. The next video we'll have is Donald going up with Gamma, and that will be a much longer experience than this one.
Smells like Froggy's around somewhere. Think I'll see what's behind this door.
Considering there's 3 doors ahead of him, I wonder if he can tell exactly which one is correct from the smell alone. Also, I didn't know he could just smell Froggy, and that's how he knows where he is.
All right, guys, I think it's time I tell my story to you all.
Brace yourself, Donald. This is going to be a tough one.
So there I was with my friends Uglier Joe and Harold, as I was usually around at the time. This was shortly after the start of my hero days becoming the Joe Devil. We were at Spirit Halloween looking at costumes when I noticed one of the options for a costume was a big frog. At that moment, I realized the potential for this combination of facts. I may or may not have ran out of the store with the costume since I forgot I needed to pay for it. Once we got home, I announced myself that I was the Joe Devil to both of them. They didn't realize I was trusting them with my secret identity since they just thought it was a regular costume.
Well, so far the story isn't all that bad. I mean, it's definitely not good, but it's not awful like I thought it would be.
Knowing him, I'm sure it's about to get really bad really quickly.
Uglier Joe put on the frog costume and Harold put on what he called a costume, but just looked like Harold from that movie. Harold and Kumar go to White Castle, and no, to those of you wondering, my friend Harold is not the same ethnicity as the person in the movie, so make of that what you will. Anyway, we were going trick-or-treating on Halloween, but met some guys who were clearly on drugs. They started running up to Uglier Joe and trying to get some effect because they thought he was a real frog. At that point, I was trying to fight them off my friend, but I realized they were too powerful, and licked his costume for the rest of the night. From that moment on, I decided I was going to save every frog I could, and I get excited whenever I'm able to fulfill that goal. The end. So guys, what did you think?
I think I'm going to nuke America.
I'm going to purposefully get hit by a car every time I'm playing Frogger.
Huh? That's strange. Where am I? Froggy?
Barack, I think it's best if we just try to forget everything Joe's said to us in the past minute or so, and if we can do that, I'll maybe not nuke the country to make sure stories like that can't continue.
Oh, come on, it wasn't that bad.
It really was.
So do you trust me? So these are the 7 emeralds.
I think it would be nice if there was a cutscene viewer where we could see all the flashbacks in chronological order. I don't really know when they're all supposed to take place compared to one another.
There's probably a compilation for that on YouTube somewhere.
Could it be? The servers are the 7 Chaos Emeralds, unified by one that is the controller. The 7 Chaos.
Any plans to finish that sentence? Something about the emeralds enriched by the heart or whatever it is you said before?
Could this be the emerald that controls the 7 Chaos?
You know, based on that line, I actually think at this point she just doesn't know that they're called the Chaos Emeralds. Kind of weird since she did say the word emerald when referring to the Master Emerald. But this is confusing.
If something happens now, there's no point to my rescuing you. I don't know who would bother to save us both. We better get going, buddy!
So Barack, how are you enjoying the story and fishing so far? Are you glad to be almost done for the day already?
It's weird since I don't find it bad exactly. Yes, it has no real place being in a game like this, but the actual fishing isn't all that bad. It's kind of bare bones compared to other games with fishing mechanics, but I wouldn't say it's an awful time. The main flaw is that you need to do this story to really finish the game, and since it's just so far off from what the series usually entails, it's such a jarring experience. It's like going through Chemical Plant Zone in Sonic 2, and then suddenly you have to play a puzzle game to finish the level. Can you imagine something like that?
Actually, yeah, I can do that pretty easily.
Okay, well still, I'm glad to be done pretty soon, even if I'm enjoying it.
So, I see you're trying to escape. I'm right on time. Chaos, grab him! Get that frog! And don't forget the Chaos Emerald.
I'm curious if Chaos just took the frog into himself, would that still make him larger? I mean, he would still have the Chaos Emerald in him even if it's also inside Froggy. Not that it really matters, but I'd be interested in the logistics.
Or better yet, if Tails was going to use a Chaos Emerald to power the tornado, and Froggy has eaten an emerald, does that mean Froggy can fly? I think he should have tried it.
I'm going to say yes, he could have been flying the whole game and just didn't want to.
All right, and now for the frog. The frog is possessed by your tail. Once you get your tail, you'll be complete and ultra strong.
The frog is possessed by his tail? What does that mean?
I can't even blame you for that. I'm as lost as you are right now.
That makes 3 of us.
Such an amazing transition of music there, game. I wouldn't have expected any different of you at this point in the playthrough.
I'll save you. Don't worry, Pally.
So, he's your friend, eh? No sweat. I'll get him back. Watch me.
And despite Sonic saying that, he is nowhere to be found during the fight. It's up to Big now.
Careful, Froggy. Don't worry. We'll get you back.
All right, Barack, you're almost there. Only one fight to go, and then you're done.
You are correct, though. This is not going to be a difficult time in the slightest. You literally just have to fish in the right spot, and you're done. You can realistically get this done in a couple seconds if you know exactly where to aim at the start. This is only slightly above the other character fights in difficulty, but not much. I'm not even sure why this needs to be done, since Sonic was just fighting him. And there it is. The big story is done. I mean, I think I have to control him for another second or two near the tornado, but other than that, it's done.
Go on and get out of here. I'll do the rest.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Come, little buddy. Time to get a move on.
Okay, so that's why Sonic wasn't doing anything. Big caught Froggy before the main fight started. I'm still not sure what Sonic was doing running up to Chaos before if the real fight hadn't actually been done yet. But okay.
But I don't know the first thing about it. Oh well, I'll give it a try anyway.
Big and Froggy sadly perished on the egg carrier and will be missed by. Oh, who cares? They're not getting missed by anyone.
No, Donald, they are just fine. Not entirely sure how they survived, but nonetheless they did. Usually this is the part where we would go over our thoughts, but this time I think Big's story speaks for itself. There really isn't much more we can add to this that we and the general community that have played this game haven't already done before.
You know what, I think you're right. I'm actually kind of excited to get to play as Gamma next time, considering he's way better than playing as Amy and Big. That isn't saying a lot, but I actually do think he plays well, so that will be a more substantial use of our time than it was watching Big's adventure.
I'm so happy you're okay, Froggy. And
All right, we are ending things right now before Joe gets even more insane than he already is.
No, guys, I'm fine.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And peace out, people.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Sonic Adventure. I'm just going to start right off by getting Gamma's story going. It's going to be a lot more interesting than Big's was, so we'll have a little more to talk about that's not just making fun of the main character.
And I'll try to stay calm since Froggy is safe.
Excellent. All systems, full power. Look at me. I'm your brilliant creator, Dr. Robotnik.
Just to go over the bases for anyone unfamiliar as we've been doing, this is Gamma. He is one of Dr. Fat Man's inventions that develops a conscience after talking with Amy. He's unique in that he's the first robot character you can play as in the series, and he won't be the last, as Omega will take over starting in Sonic Heroes.
Gamma.
That's right. You will now obey only me.
That spin was completely unnecessary, but pretty enjoyable to see. I can't imagine how his sizable gut didn't knock over at least 12 different things and break Gamma, but I'll never know.
I'm okay with not knowing.
Your big brother, E101 Beta, is there practicing. Enter, Gamma. You're not as advanced as Beta is, but you'll do fine.
I know we're going into this pretty quickly today, but Gamma's gameplay is pretty different, so there's a bit of explaining necessary. Gamma's whole deal is he shoots enemies and other targets throughout his levels. Most things he can shoot will increase the amount of time you have to beat a level, as you actually need to do it under a certain time limit. But honestly, it's never really difficult to finish each stage even without shooting anything.
This iteration of Final Egg is incredibly simple compared to the other characters going through it, as it's only used as a training exercise. Still pretty disappointing that it's not really a full level like the others, but it does make sense in context of the story.
The first time I played this, it took 20 minutes to get through this section. You did it way faster.
Yeah, I'm kind of the best at games.
Gamma. I didn't think you had what it takes. And Gamma, here's your test. If you want to stay on board, you must be able to pass it. So pay attention to what I say.
Any day now, Fatso.
The almighty Egg Carrier is a flying fortress that needs a good crew. Come forth, Beta. I'd like you to meet your older brother, E101. Just call him Beta.
Are they really considered brothers if they just kind of look like each other? Or is there a mother robot who gave birth to them that I missed somehow?
You are putting way more thought into this than you should, Joe. He just means they're built in a similar way.
All right, guys, I need to focus on this absolutely insane fight that can only be done by the best gamers on Earth. That being me, obviously.
Whoa. Donald, that was really tough. You had to press a whole one button a few times. If you need a break after that, we will understand.
No, I think I'll be all right, but thank you for thinking about my well-being at a time like this.
So you want to come along with us, eh? Okay. We could always use a spare set of parts, I guess. You have special permission.
As opposed to regular permission, which I guess is different than the special permission.
Yeah, that line always confused me. I don't know what different permission levels really mean when Dr. Eggman is the only human on the egg carrier. It's not like they have to answer to anyone else. That was actually pretty well timed.
Aha! Testing 1, 2, 3. You, the elite egg carrier crew, are here today to hear a very special announcement.
If he's going to pee on the moon, I'm leaving right now.
Behold, It's a tailed frog! Very unique. This frog is absolutely vital to my plans.
I like to think when I watch this scene that it takes place before Froggy eats the Chaos Emerald and he just really likes the frog that much.
Did someone say Froggy? I love Froggy. Egg! Ah!
Okay, that was my bad. I shouldn't have mentioned him.
Oh, hey, it's Cream the Rabbit. How's it going? I have a good friend who absolutely loves Cream the Rabbit. Sonic Advance 2 is his favorite game of all time because that's where she's in it.
Are you sure that's not just your opinion when you say it's someone else's?
I'm just happy he's not reacting towards her like he did to the amphibian who will not be named. So we don't need to push him on what probably fictional friend he has in mind that really likes the game.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I should have thought of that one. Oh, and we're also in Emerald Coast now. Although there is more to this level than the final egg, there really isn't all that much to this level, which is quite a shame. You barely make it to the 30-second mark before you get to the end of the level, and that's it.
It has the same kind of problem Tails had, though, to be fair. You are at least doing something different than Tails would have. Even then, I don't think it excuses how short the levels can be. We didn't even cut that much out, and it's still not long at all.
I'm just happy we got to Froggy again. I really like Froggy.
Yeah, we got the idea before.
Back to what's happening in the game. Gamma is getting sent back in time like the other characters. I'm not sure why Tickle is even bothering with it since he's a robot, but that kind of puts into question what exactly she can send back in time like this. Can she just do this to other inorganic beings? I'm probably not supposed to think this hard about it, but I like to consider these things.
No data found. Location unknown. This presents a problem.
So I had a question about something with our videos. I know we tend to cut out certain scenes, but when you think about it, how does that work from our perspective? Like we're all in the same room together talking about the game, but then the video cuts to something a few seconds ahead with us just speaking normally. It's kind of breaking the immersion.
That is a valid point, but I don't think you're meant to think about it all that much. I mean, us bringing up those kinds of topics also breaks the immersion, so it's best to not acknowledge it.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I see you must not be one of them, huh? Did you notice the presence guarding these children? He's a very loving and gentle creature. These little creatures are too vulnerable without its protection.
They have Chow Karate as a fun activity. I'm sure they can handle themselves.
That reminds me I should check up on the Chow I threw against a wall a few months ago. I wonder how he's doing. Probably not good.
Now my father is trying to take their sacred home. It seems his heart is closed off to us all.
Curse you, Vander Walls.
Wait, what? What did you just say?
Oh, it was this thing that a biology teacher was teaching at a high school. He said it was related to geckos, but he had some sort of vendetta against the guy who made the term or something. So that's what he said every time he started the class. Mind you, I wasn't a student. I was just listening to his classes every day behind a bookshelf listening. It was a great time listening to him.
Joe, the guy who that term is named after, died in 1923. Also, more importantly, why were you just listening in on a class that you weren't part of in such a creepy way?
I wanted to learn.
Ah, dummies, 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 dummies! None of you got the right one. We must find the frog with Chaos's tail. That same frog has also swallowed a Chaos Emerald.
I never really got what the focus was with the Chaos Tail. It was mentioned before in Big Story, but I must have just missed why it's so important. Like maybe Chaos does attack with his tail more than I realize, but out of all his forms, it doesn't seem that significant in most of them.
All you worthless hunks of junk, be gone!
I like to think he just has those tractor beams ready to go at any point, as if he expects them to fail, so he had these built for this exact reason. I have something like that in the Oval Office too, so great minds think alike.
Once there, you'll find a girl and a bird. Just get me that bird. Now, go!
Is this the one?
Gamma would soon learn that the left door was not in fact the one.
Even though the levels aren't amazing and the shooting could use a lot of refining, it is good to have a story where the character actually has some real development like this. And I'm not counting Tails since his whole getting by without Sonic thing was mainly relegated to the last level.
I think Amy's story was absolutely incredible in the way that she
Joe, I swear if you say anything about her animation when you select her character or anything creepy, I'm sending you off to Alcatraz before the day is over.
Hey, I was going to say something else like, never mind, let's just move on.
Go away!
Give me the bird.
No way!
Are we really going to see the exact same scene again, or can we skip around more than normal this time? I don't want to just cut everything out, but it's not like there's some insanely new revelation here that we haven't already seen.
Yeah, we can just include the highlights of this scene and move on to something new.
Why try to save that which is useless to you?
I guess we can be friends then. Take care, okay?
Okay, now that Amy is free, we can actually get on to something more interesting. We'll be getting one of the best power-ups that allows Gamma to float down instead of just falling. It's really nice for the levels coming up.
I don't know why he didn't have it to begin with, but yeah, it's nice that he gets to have this pretty early in his playthrough.
Here's the jet booster. Press and hold the jump button and you'll float for a while.
Thanks for repeating what I just said there, Orb Lady.
I see you've got the jet booster. Report to the rear of the ship. Hurry!
I do want to acknowledge the beta scene since we kind of skimmed by it. I think it is nice to have something just for Gamma to see that at least partially gives background as to why there is a change in motivation. It's also foreshadowing to the last fight Gamma has in the story, so there's some proper build-up, especially since that fight actually requires some effort, unlike most of them in this game.
And speaking of effort, we all know what's coming, so let's just get right into this absolutely intense fight.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Whoa, Donald. I don't know how you do it, but you're amazing at this game. I can't imagine doing what you could so easily.
Yeah, I just get locked in and the game practically plays itself.
Hey, Mr. Robot. I know you're not an evil sort.
Oh, I really don't get this.
Sonic, look! The egg carrier's losing altitude.
Oh yeah, I was so blown away by Donald's incredible gameplay that I couldn't even remember the egg carrier having an altitude problem or anything. I'm really hoping all of Gamma's fights aren't that difficult since he has one at the end of every level coming up, if I remember right.
It's a lot to handle and I'm worried at a few sections since all of these encounters are so tough. I'm thinking the gaming master Donald himself can handle it. And if not, then nobody can.
Why not leave Eggman and come with us?
Why do you help me?
I told you we'd be friends the next time we met. Even Birdie wants the best for you. You must ditch that awful Eggman.
I speak fluent Bird, and I can tell you all that he doesn't want Gamma coming with him.
Do I even want to know how you can speak Bird at all, much less fluently?
Well, I do have a story about it, but you're probably going to say it's an affront to democracy or something, so we'll just skip the whole process this time.
Dr. Robotnik. Enemy. Master registration deleted.
All right, everyone, it's time for my guy to finally focus on his new mission of stopping Dr. Obese Man. I am so ready to take on all those Greek alphabet losers and show them who the Donald really is.
It's going to be a tough journey, but I think you can make it just fine. Next stop is Windy Valley, so I'm hoping you're able to focus up, even though it's not that tough of a level.
Hey guys, have you wondered where exactly Windy Valley is compared to the Mystic Ruins? I'd imagine it would be far away since we can never see it until we're actually here. I know the characters fly up into it, but still seem at least near the ground when they start the level and don't really get that high in the air until the tornado shows up.
I wonder that same thing for almost every level in the game. Maybe not Emerald Coast and Red Mountain that much, but yeah. About half of them just cannot fit into the area near Station Square or Mystic Ruins or wherever else they're supposed to be near. I just try not to think about it that much.
As long as I think the level is fun, I'm not really concerned about the geographical accuracy. And speaking of fun, I think this is actually one of Gamma's best levels. You go through some different paths than you have been to before, and it's refreshing to really experience a level differently. I mean, it's still pretty short otherwise, I think it would have been even better. But it is rewarding to get combos on those pink centipede things. Oh, and now I have to focus up again.
Incredible! You even had to use the control stick a few times, and you even used 2 buttons instead of 1. That was so well done, Donald.
Yeah, that was certainly a lot, but as usual, the superior gamer, that being me, was able to handle it with ease.
What's the plan going to be now?
I'm just heading straight into Red Mountain. I'm determined to show this game that I'm not afraid of those other robots, so this is the best way to do it. Not like there's much else I can do anyway.
I wonder if those rocks weren't there. Then Sonic just couldn't have progressed and would have lost right there. Oh yeah, and your strategy is good. Donald, it's quite literally the only thing you could be doing now, but it's still a good idea.
Hey Donald, did you have any thoughts on this level? I'm kind of indifferent, but you're the one playing, so I'd want to hear what you're thinking.
I think it's fine. I don't feel too strongly about it since there is more to interact with directly, but it's again another small portion of the full level. That seems to be a problem with most stories that aren't Sonic or even Amy's levels. Sonic obviously has the most to do, and for as much as I don't like playing as Amy, she at least got to go through a substantial portion where everyone else doesn't. Tails doesn't count as he is meant to skip over the level even if most of the actual level design is still present.
Yeah, I must say the overall design of restricting most of the experience to other characters and have them ignore most of the level that we know should be there is probably the least enjoyable part of the game, aside from the presentation being unusual at points.
Hold up guys, it's another really tough fight.
How long are we keeping this joke up for?
What are you talking about, Joe? These are very serious situations that I need complete focus on in order to play at my best.
Oh, okay, good to know.
Yeah, Joe, these are incredibly dangerous robots that must be handled with utmost care.
E-103 Delta, E-104 Epsilon, rescue mission accomplished. E-105 Zeta, E-101 Beta, location unknown.
Might as well go back to the egg carrier so Donald can take down whoever is left at the hot shelter, which should be Zeta. Plus whatever is left of Beta should still be in the area.
Looks like he had the same idea.
E-Series data, beginning search. Accessing data, hot shelter, E-Series location confirmed. Unlocking hot shelter sector now.
Okay everyone, there's only a few minutes left for today. Kind of weird to think that we're almost done with the whole playthrough. Only one more video after this, which is the Supersonic fight.
I did want to take this time to give a couple updates on projects going on past Sonic Adventure. Since our uploads have not been the most consistent last year, once I play next time and finish the game, we will likely take a small break and then get back into videos in the Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater series. Plus, there's also Kingdom Hearts, which will only have 2 more videos. We don't plan on starting any new playthroughs until we get done with the ones we already have going, as those started a while ago, and we don't want to keep neglecting our current projects. After that, we're not entirely sure what will be next.
Hey guys, this is almost as important as that update. Do you all want to hear the story about how I learned to speak bird? I think it fits great with the hot shelter look.
I was really hoping you would forget about it after bringing it up earlier.
No, we don't want to hear it, but I'm sure you'll just tell it anyway.
All right, glad you two want to hear it. It all started like a few years ago or something. It might have been longer. I was out hunting birds, but I didn't actually want to kill any of them, so I shot them with one of those NES zapper things, which was pretty much just as accurate, or at least I thought it was at the time. I was outside for like 20 hours at a time since I was really dedicated to the sport. I was out like 6 days a week each time, so I was really invested. After the 3rd week of doing so, I started to understand their language. Could you tell I was really dedicated so far?
Yeah, I got it the second time you said it.
Okay, good. I wanted to make that pretty clear. I was listening to all of their bird noises. They kept saying things like, "Hey, look, it's Joe. Let's all laugh at him because he's not hitting any of us with his stupid fake gun." I was very upset at hearing this because I thought for a while they were cheering me on for my incredible aim, but it was the opposite. I decided to pull out an actual gun and start shooting in a blind rage. I missed all of them, and this dog popped up from the grass and started laughing at me. I went home and never went hunting for birds again. The end. Sorry I got a little excited there. That story always gets to me. Did you all like it?
Honestly, out of all the stories you've told, this was one of the least bad. I still did not by any means enjoy it, but I was expecting a death toll by the end of it. So not hearing anything like that was a pleasant surprise.
I could ask about all of the nonsensical things like you usually bring up, but at this point I'll take what I can get and say we dodged a bullet, just like those birds did. Oh yeah, and obligatory, I need to focus, really tough fight. You know the drill.
Even though this fight is really easy since it can't even move, it does require you to move around, so at least there is some thought in avoiding the projectiles. Not much though.
Yeah, still not a match for me though. It did take a few more seconds, so it's the hardest fight for Gamma so far.
Only one more and that's it.
E-105 Zeta rescue complete. Units remaining, Gamma, Beta.
All right, I know we have been doing some jokes about the non-existent difficulty of the fights. So this is the only one that legitimately isn't super easy. Even then, he's not that difficult. But it's kind of sad that about half the fights for Gamma have literally no strategy besides pressing the shoot button, and nearly all the others only vaguely require you to move around a little. It's the weakest part of his specific story, even though it applies to pretty much everyone just the same, minus the shooting.
So it really was a joke earlier. That's what I thought at first, but I was told it wasn't.
Yeah, I made that up for my own entertainment. The strategy here is to avoid what he shoots at you, which should be pretty obvious. You can't just hit him whenever you want, though, as he has this shield, but it's not active after he dashes. There will also be a point where he goes in the air and cannot be hit, so you'll just have to avoid the explosions that he causes. I just did that right now for visual reference.
This floor must be really sturdy with all the final fights for everyone happening on here. But more importantly, Donald, you're about to be done. You're finished with the story, and we can move on to Supersonic next time.
I mean, let's be honest with ourselves, none of this was a challenge for the Donald himself, greatest person, president, and gamer there ever was.
Despite allegedly expert gamer Donald's best efforts, Beta Mark II manages to hit what is likely a fatal blow to Gamma. Whatever will it do now? In order for the family of birds to be together, Gamma must die. It's a bittersweet ending, but there is some closure in defeating all the robots and setting the animals free.
I cried for like 6 hours when I saw this scene first. It might have actually been 7, but I couldn't read the clock correctly since my tears blocked my vision. 6, 7, I just can't remember.
And that is it for Gamma's playthrough. Donald, you did a great job, even if there wasn't much difficulty to really overcome. It's an overall good story with less than stellar fights, but okay levels.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I'm glad it went smoothly enough for me, even if that was to be expected. We're going to cut things off for today.
Thank you to everyone who continues to watch our videos. The support always means a lot.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And peace out, people.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the final part of Sonic Adventure. I'm here to play as Super Sonic to finish things off, but first we'll have to watch the story segments coming up.
It's the culmination of every story in the game coming together for one last fight. Except Gamma, that guy is totally dead.
Whoa, Donald, I'm glad you can finally express emotions now, but you may want to calm it down. You're almost as insane as Joe is whenever he sees that amphibian.
Okay, sorry, I'm just happy to see this game is finally getting done soon.
I'm happy that we don't need to cut out quite as much since these are new scenes that we haven't been shown yet, so that will be nice.
Ooh, I hate that Sonic. He always seems to get in my way. But I bet he can't foil my master plan.
So Dr. Eggman has a floating machine, and yet he's still so close to the ground? Couldn't he be flying above the trees just as easily? Maybe his weight is bringing it down. That would make sense.
All right, I think we've used the fat jokes enough with him. And by we, I mean you.
The Master Emerald is where it belongs. But Angel Island is still falling. This doesn't make any sense.
Hey, before we get too deep into the story, we did want some input from the viewers. What other Sonic games do you want to see on the channel? It wouldn't be for a while, but we would like some input on what you all may want.
Just comment below, and we'll see what would interest people. We will consider them for a future playthrough once it's been enough time.
Eggman!
This is terrible! Chaos is...
Is what?
Chaos is very strange in that it attacked Dr. Eggman in the jungle, but both he and his Eggmobile are here for some reason. That's not what he was going to say, but it's reasonable to wonder.
Yep, that is pretty weird.
Guess Eggman learned his lesson. Yep. And maybe I'll take another vacation somewhere.
Hey, Donald, if Sonic takes a vacation at your golf course, can you let me know? I'd like to meet Sonic one day, especially if he brings Froggy.
Yeah, no problem. I'll tell you, if it happens, we already met Knuckles, so we'll see if we can meet the other two someday.
Angel Island is falling again.
Hey, no way! Who blew it this time?
Oh, I don't know, but we better hurry!
So for the viewers that aren't familiar, there really isn't much besides a lot of scenes before getting to the encounter against Perfect Chaos. There's just not much to really do besides exactly what the game expects you to do.
We just watch the story happen, and that's it.
Sonic, sorry.
Knuckles! And Eggman! What happened here?
He stole my Chaos Emeralds. And Chaos is still alive.
What?
He said Chaos is still alive. He said it pretty loudly, so it shouldn't have been that hard to hear.
No, Joe, he just meant it. Like, oh, who am I kidding? Let's just keep watching.
Sonic, Chaos is a fearsome beast. If he gets that last Chaos Emerald, we're done for.
No need to explain. We'll get on it. Tails?
Right.
What?
You know, I haven't made the connection before, but these flashbacks are like those codec calls that we heard in Metal Gear Solid. Like in the way that someone just shows up suddenly to explain something the character needs to know with no real build-up to it. I never really complained about these since there was more happening visually, but I just now thought of that.
They definitely don't last as long, that's for sure.
Get out of my way!
No way!
Did you hear what I said?
I won't obey!
We need those 7 emeralds to give us total power. It's power for the people. And they are your people too, you know. We must get that emerald.
Greed is our enemy. Once it starts, you will always want more.
How did they start those fires? I don't see any flamethrowers with any of them. And if they could start those fires already, then why didn't they just take the emeralds at the same time?
Those are valid questions, although not quite the main focus of what we're watching.
You know, maybe we shouldn't be too harsh on these guys. Maybe they're just protesting a rigged scheme by the Orb Lady, and they're just peacefully protesting, and also taking a few things while they're at it. I'm starting to understand the old guy's points more. I think I'd send a few pardons their way if they were still alive.
Oh, it's a monster! No!
Sorry for the audience that is waiting for us to talk a little bit more here. There's just a lot of important story moments going on, and it's still going to be like 6+ minutes before we actually get to the last fight. We just don't want to interrupt much of what's going on, especially for the last video of this game playthrough. Once we get closer to the end, we will be talking a little more often.
Yeah, I'm thrilled watching Tikal fail to protect the emeralds.
Wait up!
7 emeralds are the servers. Chaos is power, enriched by the heart. The controller serves to unify the chaos. The 7 emeralds can change our thoughts into power.
I'm thinking of a world with all the froggies I can imagine. I could be the owner of the first froggy farm and find large purple cats to give them homes. That would be what I would wish for.
I thought you would say something demented about Amy, so that's actually not so bad.
I was on a snooze cruise, I guess.
Good thing you're okay. You just sort of conked out there. Knuckles left already. Come! We gotta go after the last emerald.
Lead the way.
It should still be on board the Tornado too.
We were shown earlier that it was in the jungle, so we won't waste any time and head straight there.
Look! It's the Tornado too.
Yeah, so let's get the Chaos Emerald and leave.
You are so not getting it.
What?
Told you.
No! He's got the last emerald!
Now what do we do?
Well, giving up is a pretty easy option, so without the Chaos Emeralds, you should probably do that.
No, Joe, we did not make it 9 parts in just to give up. It would be kind of funny, but no, we are sticking through until the end.
Kind of looks like that place in Resident Evil 2.
I mean, it's just a sewer. If it had a really large mutated alligator, then I could see what you mean.
Maybe it just has that same vibe. I don't know how to explain it.
I still remember this exact moment in the Some Call Me Johnny video where he says, "All of the citizens of Station Square, just evacuate really quickly. There's no people here anymore." We should have played as them instead of Amy or Big if they were that fast.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty funny video. I should catch up on his catalog when I have a moment away from, you know, the whole being president thing.
Time to get everyone back together and get the emeralds back. It's the only chance at stopping perfect chaos.
If I wasn't just dreaming, that monster is a real menace.
In retrospect, it would have been really nice to have a stage with each character getting a few of the emeralds, so there's a little more to do. There was something like that with switching characters in the finale of Sonic Adventure 2, so it really felt like a combined effort. Not really a criticism, but just something that sounds nice.
Ooh, that's a really good idea. I would have loved a stage just playing as Froggy and Amy.
I don't know what is more bizarre, the fact that Dr. Eggman built a second egg carrier, or the fact that it gets destroyed like 3 seconds after being seen the first time.
I think he could just repair the first one if it got damaged, and that would save a lot of effort.
Team Rocket's blasting off again.
I've had enough. Who do you think you are, anyway? Oh, it's you. The one who sealed chaos in the Master Emerald. Tikal.
So we don't usually go into the background of the video making process, but you may have noticed over the series we have not been mentioning Tikal by name all that much. We usually just call her Orb Lady or something. That is because with Fish Audio we just can't really say her proper name correctly, but I don't think Sonic said it correctly. It's kind of tricky to get an exact pronunciation in some words, especially if they're fictional characters. A lot of Pokemon are really hard to write phonetically, so just figured we'd share that was the reason why we haven't said her name all that much.
Barack, we're missing out on the really important thing happening right now with you talking a lot.
Perfect Chaos is dangerous, and we have to stop him before he levels any other cities. That's about it. Not all that complicated.
Okay, I guess we didn't miss that much.
Look! He's absorbed the Emerald's power. He must be sealed in the Master Emerald now!
How can that help? It won't change how he feels inside, will it? His heart will still remain in turmoil, and his anger just won't vanish.
I think that's probably the second priority, as the first one is stopping him from killing everyone that he hasn't already. Then we can hire a therapist to work out his problems with him later.
I mean, it is in character for him to care to some degree about his enemies like this, but yeah, it's a weird time to bring it up.
Hey, Sonic!
Amy!
Here, take this!
Hey guys, what's up?
Chaos only used the negative power of the emeralds. Sonic, you should be able to harness their real power.
I don't really want to harp on this much, but I don't think it was ever mentioned that there is actually a difference in what power you can take from the emeralds. I get that it's the way they can justify them both being powerful, but I think introducing it earlier would have been better.
Negative forces aren't the only way to empower the Chaos Emeralds. Our positive feelings toward each other can make them work. Our hearts together form awesome.
Okay guys, get ready. It's time for it to finally happen.
I'm almost as excited as when I see Froggy.
Only took 9 parts. It's time to finally get supersonic. Joe, calm down, it's just a game. I'm glad you're not acting like this to Amy, but it's really hard to focus with you being like that.
For once, I can't even blame Joe that much. I make fun of this game a lot, but this all makes it worth it.
Oh, great. Now I have both of you idiots distracting me. I'm glad you two could keep calm enough so I could listen to Open Your Heart in the background. Are you two going to hold it together, or will we have another 2 holes in the window to repair?
Well, under the threat of Democrat violence, I suppose I can try keeping my cool around this pretty good fight. It's the only one in the game that actually looks semi-challenging. You know, aside from the first one that you died at.
You just had to get one more in, didn't you? Anyways, this fight actually does have some difficult parts. You have to build up enough speed to hurt Perfect Chaos, but you obviously can't do that if you hit the terrain the wrong way. You also need to avoid his attacks, since those slow you down. Plus, you also have to keep your ring count up like in previous games.
You seem to be doing fine enough so far.
No, I don't think I have enough speed to get him this time. Not a huge setback, but still not good. You know what, it's fine. I have enough rings to afford a few misses like that without failing completely, so I think I'll be just fine. Nothing I can't handle by now.
You'll probably be fine as long as you don't keep slowing down. Joe and I will try to keep ourselves calm while you finish him off. It's pretty misleading seeing his health bar being almost gone, but then another phase starts up right after. It would have been better to just have one that doesn't take as much damage per hit so it's more accurate.
And here's where the fight starts to go downhill a little bit. It's literally just doing what you just did all over again, but with barely any changes. The music is also much less climactic. I would have preferred there be just Open Your Heart play the entire fight, or at least switch the order that they play in so it ends on a higher note.
They did the same thing in Sonic Generations with their fight too, so they didn't learn their lesson even after so many years. I'll admit I was pretty hyped up here, but it's losing a bit of what made it special at the beginning of the fight.
Hey guys, I'm sorry I freaked out a little earlier. I was just so excited for the fight and I was thinking about Froggy again that I just kind of lost it. I'm better now.
You better be. I'm happy to finish up the game soon, but if you or Donald make all of these crazy weird sounds, that's going to make it much more difficult to keep my composure.
Oh, come on, Barack, you'll be fine. You're about to finish the game in just a few more seconds. I would have been done with him half an hour ago if I was playing, but you're all right.
Oh yeah, it's time to open his heart, or whatever that song said.
And just like that, the ultimate superior gamer, Barack Obama, successfully defeats Perfect Chaos.
Hey, I'll play with you some other time.
So if I remember correctly, which I've been told isn't always accurate, we're just watching the group kind of stand around and just leave, right?
For once your memory is correct. Let's just watch it for a moment before we make fun of it some more. I'm pretty sure one of these chow is the same one I threw at a wall to hatch it a while ago. Or I'd like to think so.
Chaos has changed again, this time for the better.
Yeah! Supersonic must have neutralized it, so it's nice again.
These are the chow you were protecting.
Okay, I would not call what I did to that chow protecting, so I'm glad he's not here. I don't know if he's even alive. I never checked up on him after I forced him to hatch.
Guys, I just remembered something. I don't think I've checked on my Tamagotchi in a while.
Do you know the last time you turned one of those things on would have been?
Well, it came out in like 1997, so yeah, right around there.
Harmony's restored and life goes on. Thank you so much.
Is she thanking us? I don't think she would be thanking me if she knew I abandoned my Tamagotchi.
She is thanking Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, but we did play as them, so she indirectly is thanking us. Mostly me as Supersonic did all the work.
Did any of this actually fix that issue in Angel Island where it wouldn't go back up? I don't think that was mentioned since Perfect Chaos was the main focus.
No, just like the gas prices with me as president, they're never coming back up. Unless they do, in which case it's actually good.
All's well that ends well, right?
He said in the ruins of a destroyed city.
Sonic?
All right, everyone, it's finally done. We have finished the playthrough of Sonic Adventure. We would like to thank everyone watching for your patience on it taking this long to finish after we started it. Once we got back into it, then things were pretty good. But that several-month gap wasn't good for us to do, so we apologize for that. We will handle our current and future playthroughs much better in how often we upload them.
We would also like to thank the audience for dealing with such a mid-game. I mean, some of it was pretty good, mostly the parts where I was playing, but this game is a mixed bag. Some parts are really good, but most of it drags along. If we didn't skip things like those Sky Chase levels or Chaos 4 fights or whatever else was really boring, then it would have been a worse playthrough for sure. I don't plan on coming back to this much at all, but I see why others do in some ways. Not Amy or Big though, they're trash.
I would like to thank everyone for letting me experience Amy's story. It was so incredible to see the best character in video game history have her own adventure. Seeing Cream the Rabbit was also amazing, even if she's not as good as Amy. I was also happy to see Froggy so much. It was the best time having him show up on occasion and let us know how he was doing. Now that I'm not the president, I'm spending all my spare time trying to fit an emerald into a frog to experience it all over again. Oh, and also I'll take some time to get my Tamagotchi back to health since he hasn't eaten anything in almost 3 decades.
All right, Joe, I'm going to try forgetting everything you just said. But for real, this playthrough was interesting from my perspective. As much as I still like the game, there's a lot that we can trim down or just remove entirely that makes it a better experience. Like the credits showing up now are increased in speed just to make them last a more reasonable length of time. And they appear at the end of every playthrough, but we didn't think we should have them show up 6 times in one playthrough for the viewer's sake.
I mean, we could have sped those up and gave our thoughts for each story then. But I see what you mean. I'm happy with how it turned out overall.
Oh, we wouldn't need that long. Sonic's story is the best. Tails is too short and relying on Sonic's experience in character and gameplay too much. Knuckles is cool, but his levels feel more confined. Gamma is pretty basic, but still fun. Amy and Big are trash that shouldn't have been playable.
I mean, that is an overall simple way of putting it, but you're not wrong. Regardless of the quality for each character's gameplay, we hope the viewers found each video as fun of a time as it was playing and editing it. We're not sure when we'll be back with another Sonic game, but this has been a good time for us. I think we're just going to let the credits finish things off for the rest of the video.
Thank you to everyone watching.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And peace out, people.